This version of It's Eric Nagel has been modified from its original broadcast. Content has been edited to fit this platform.
Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see.
It's Eric Nagel. And it starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear, it's Eric Nagel.
Thank you, Scott Shannon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the program. I am Eric Nagel, and over there, joining us from the frozen tundra of Arizona, is my pal Jordan.
Hey, everybody.
Hello. If you're listening to us on the iHeartRadio app, thank you very much for doing so. If you're listening to us at another place and time on Apple, Spotify, wherever you're getting your online content in that form, do us a kindness, go over there and leave us a positive review. It does definitely help out the program with the algorithms and all the other nonsense I won't even get into. Just do as you're told. Go over there. No, please go over there and give us a hand with all of that. If you want to join us live in our live rooms, you can do that as well over on Twitch and on YouTube. You can hop in there and be part of the radio program as we do it. Jordan, how are you, my friend? How was your week?
Good. Got both kids now for the spring break. We're on our second week of spring break, just finishing that up.
They get 2 weeks?
They get 2 weeks. Yeah, so they
I don't think we got 2 weeks growing up.
I don't remember getting 2 weeks growing up. I remember we got like a fall break and a spring break, and then summer, winter.
Right.
And then, yeah, now they're getting breaks constantly. I was actually looking at the calendar, and my son they go back to school Monday, and Friday's Good Friday, so they have a day off. I'm like, do you ever go to school? So
apparently
it's a 40
not.
week after their 2 weeks off.
And they're like done in May, right?
Yeah, they're done in May, but we start earlier here in Arizona, so
no,
they'll be back in school.
I know, but their summer's starting fairly soon.
Yeah, May.
Yeah.
Like usually right before the Memorial Day weekend. So yeah, it's crazy.
So what are you doing with the kids all this time? They're just sitting there handing them a Switch in the video game controller and go, here you go, Daddy's busy.
Yeah, we've just been playing games. On my lunch breaks, I've been teaching them about X-Men because the new X-Men came out, so we forayed into that, and then they got hooked on that, so we went back and we started the old run to watch that. But we started off this week by going to a video game convention. Which was pretty fun, actually. It was interesting. I've been to cons before, like Comic-Con, and I've been to a couple of horror conventions, but never like just a video game anime con.
Right.
There's not much difference. It's just a giant floor full
Anyone
of
there of
vendors.
note?
So Jennifer Hale, she's a voice actress, done tons of video games, Mass Effect. She can be heard now on X-Men 97 as the voice of Jean Grey. Oh. So she was there. We met her. She's very nice. My kids and I, we like to play Overwatch a lot. And so there was 3 of the actors that did character voices for the game that they wanted to meet. So we went and met her. We went and met another gentleman named Keith Silverstein. He did a voice in the game. And then
you have to pay for the meet and greet stuff, right?
Yeah, you do. You get to, talk to them and hang out. And we got there early enough where the lines weren't crazy, so we got to spend a little bit more extra time. It wasn't that, please get through kind of thing.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, on average, it's like $40 to $50 to get them to sign something, which, if that's what you're, can't knock that hustle. So we did that, talked to them for a little bit. Yeah, and they were really cool with the kids. It was my son's first time ever going to a convention.
And they're like, fuck off. You paid your $50.
Yeah, I got your money.
They have a stack of pre-signed like 8x10s. They don't even personalize it. They just have their handler hands it off to you and they wave. Don't even make eye contact, and you just got to keep the line moving. But you're the only ones in line. Got to keep the line moving.
You got to keep it going, kids. Sorry. No, some of them actually do personalized stuff, which is kind of cool. They've caught on. A lot of these places and these people have caught on to the Funko Pop trade. So the pricing models are like, hey, you want a personal item signed for $40? Sure. Or you can get the 8x10 that we have here. Sure. If it's a Funko Pop, the price goes up an extra $10. I'm like,
to sign or to have it personalized?
No, to sign it. Now, sometimes
just a general signature.
Just a general signature. Now, sometimes the actor has
that's a bit messed up.
Other rules where, like, we met one guy and he signed it, no big deal. He's real nice. He did the voice for the kids. They were happy. It was fun. He was very nice. We were the first ones in line with him, so there was no one behind us. We spent a little time, but it was an extra $10 for him to write a quote from the character that he played. And when I was like, yeah, I'll just get your signature, no big deal. But when we met Jennifer Hale,
in order to
write something pithy, you know what I mean? And then so we met Jennifer Hale.
That's nickel and diming. That's a little bit. A bit much, yeah.
A little bit. But when we met Jennifer Hale, we were in a line of, a couple people, and, we were talking to her, and I was telling her, hey, like, I know you from this, and this, and it was really cool that, we're here and all this stuff. And the kids know her from Overwatch and all these things. And she was super nice, like super cool with the kids. And she's like, hey, do you want me to write something extra on there? And she did a quote from the thing. And I'm sitting there looking over the other guy. She pulling a Virgil?
Like, I'll sign you a thing here, and then it's another $30.
Yeah, we were in line for somebody else. She just walked over and started signing our stuff. But no, she was real cool. And then we went and met another actress, and she was really nice too. And she's got kids around my close to my son's age, so it was fun. And she's kind of cute, so the kid was like a little apprehensive, kind of like crushing on her a little bit. So it was real fun to watch that kind of play out. And
that's adorable.
It was. And then we played a lot of video games. They had a lot of pinball machines out, which was really cool, and everything was free. So you go in and just play. Played a lot of video games. Got to play the new Jaws pinball machine. There's 2 versions out.
I am jealous of that.
Oh, it was gorgeous. As a fan of the movie itself, and just pinball's fun. Like, to see it in person, it was slick. Like, they think those things run, the non-special edition runs about $6,500.
Right.
And the special edition was around $9,500. It's different backings at the top there. And then on the inside, there's like a whole section where you see the orca kind of like half chewed up. And it's like an extra layer of so the special edition was real cool. But we got to do that. Found out my kid was way into pinball than I thought he would ever be into, and he just didn't want to leave that area. So we played pinball a lot.
You're doing the right thing.
Yeah, and it was a fun experience. Like, it was really cool. And we went on a Sunday, so we missed all the crazy Saturday crowds and the Friday crowds, and we got to do kind of what we wanted to do. The big draws on this one, they did have the guys who played Raiden and Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Sonya from the original Mortal Kombat run, like the first couple of games. Those were the Pacino brothers were there. Ted DiBiase was there, but I think I missed him. I didn't see him there.
Did he have the banner that said DiBiase and Virgil? Because he should. Going forward, he should be the one that's there, and Virgil's never... He's like, I don't know. I thought Virgil was coming to this. Apparently not.
Or I'm thinking, like, he still has it, but he's crossed out Virgil. Like, he does the Ghostbusters no symbol on it.
No, I think it's just better if he... Because like Virgil used to do. Ted was never booked for like just 90% of the stuff Virgil showed up at. And he had the banner that said Ted DiBiase and Virgil all the time.
Funny. That would be great. Yeah,
it'd be great if Ted did that now. Because everybody would just point and laugh and have a good time and then actually pay for the experience they want with Ted DiBiase.
Yeah, just... no Virgil. But yeah, I guess he was there. The big draws were this past year, the biggest game that everyone was talking about, we lost Giddles to, was Baldur's Gate 3. And they had some of the voice cast from that. And the lines for one of the actors, Neil Newbon, were insane. People were lining up the second they opened at 10 a.m. and
those
weren't
D&D
getting their
dorks.
They weren't getting their autograph from him until probably late in the day, 3:30, 4. Yeah, he was
photo ops
nice.
First.
Photo ops. There was photo ops. There was did the signature, did the thing. But yeah, it was busy, and that was just on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And I heard it was even crazier on Saturday. And he stayed, I guess, late after the con had kind of wrapped up to keep signing on Saturday. But he had to hit his plane back to England Sunday, so it was a hard stop at 5.
Yeah.
But everyone was very nice. Everyone was real cool. A lot of, like I said, just a lot of merch, stuff there. A lot of vendors out there trying to sell their stuff. A few cool things, but I wasn't really in the mood to spend a
lot of the vendors nowadays are just selling those mystery blind boxes full of garbage.
I noticed that too. I saw a lot of those. We're like, hey, $45, you're guaranteed this stuff. It's like a giant brown bag.
Yeah, they convinced the kids who convinced their parents. It's like, because that box looks like the yellow coin box from Super Mario Brothers, and that box looks like something from Zelda, and that's something from any other property.
Right.
And it's like $75 worth of stuff for only $25. You know, it's all overstocked garbage that these stores couldn't get rid of, and somehow they got it for like pennies, and they're throwing them into the boxes like you're getting a major deal, and it's just garbage.
Yeah, so we definitely didn't buy anything extra. I think the kids had like, $20 to spend. They ended up getting like a Funko Pop each of something they liked and stuff like that. So it was a fun experience. Like I said, kind of chill to bring the kids to, something to do. It was really fun. So I think if they have anybody worth going to see next year, I might do it again. I guess I've never heard of this. Like, I guess it's 10 years running as of next year. And I'm like, geez, I had no idea it existed. So I might be a repeat on that one next year. So we'll see.
All right. People are saying you're quiet, so I'm raising your volume up a little bit here.
Oh.
Maybe that will help.
Not many people actually want to hear me talk.
I know, especially you.
I know.
Meaning you.
So
you don't even want to hear yourself.
Yeah, I'm going to take the headphones off and just let you know how it goes.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time. You
It's real cool.
Taking time out of your busy work week to be dad.
It's just I've gotten to the point now where, yes, I can spend money on stuff. Yes, I can buy them things. I think I want to do more experiences and have more fun and take them to do things and get them out of their comfort zone. So when things like this come up and these experiences come up, because, they've never met anybody, quote unquote famous or anything like that. So the experience is kind of cool for them. And, like I said, we watched X-Men 97 yesterday when it came out, and I looked over at my daughter and I was like, hey, did you know the voice of Jean Grey right there? Yeah. We met her on Sunday, and she just was like, she turned red and she was very excited. She's like, oh, that's super cool. So just like to give them that experience to associate with things now is kind of neat. So it's one of those things where you got to have more fun in your life. And
now you got them hooked. You're going to have to upgrade your game here and one day make the trek out to San Diego.
I was actually talking to my boss about that, and he's got a guy who can get a hookup. So I may have a way to get in without having to pay for it. So I might be hitting up the San Diego Comic-Con at some point.
All right, that's good because I think the passes are still on sale. Usually they're done by this time of the year, but not a lot of buzz anymore about San Diego Comic-Con as far as the reason people were going for movie and celebrity and TV premieres and all that stuff. Not really. San Diego's not really the place to be doing that anymore. Now that Disney has its own venues to do everything, you don't need San Diego.
Well, that's what we were saying is that everyone has their own vehicle to announce these things. It's why E3 kind of folded because, Sony, Nintendo, Xbox, they all have their own ways to announce everything now.
Who was it just announced they're doing their own convention? And it was something like, it sounds like it was E3, like they're doing IGN.
Oh, wow.
IGN, after just laying off a bunch of people, just had also said that we're going to do our own thing. And it's like, that sounds terrible. Like every time I see people or I get notices from places or people about TwitchCon. Are you going to TwitchCon this year? Or the TwitchCon that's in Europe? It's like, absolutely not. No.
I actually just got the notification for D23 this year.
I did too. I got the email the other day.
Anaheim.
It's expensive.
It is. And I'm like, I'll just watch it online. I have no need to be in person.
This
Legend stuff is neat, but I don't.
This past weekend, I went on our friends, Who Are These Podcasts? And Brian Johnson and I were guests with them, and we were reviewing this father-daughter Disney podcast called Disney Assembled. And it's pretty obvious that this is all the dad's idea. Yeah. Like, this is the dad's baby. The kid, we found out is 18 now and going away to college this summer. So we're wondering if how devastated the dad's going to be because the kid's not around to do this podcast with him anymore. And it just makes him look like an even bigger creep if he's just talking about how giddy and excited with all the stuff that he constantly goes to Disney properties to do, and she's not around.
Now, see, I like Disney, and I like going to the parks, and I have fun doing it. I'm definitely not as obsessed as some of those people out there. Like, I'm not making it my whole identity. I like to know what's going on. I like to, have fun at the rides. I like, doing all the food stuff.
Right.
I definitely have gotten to the point now where I realize it's now more of, and it comes back to just having kids. It's like I want them to experience the things. I mean, every time I go and I take the kids, I always think, oh man, this was a lot different when I was little. This was a different experience for me, and now you're experiencing something. And
I view it as, life's a little too good right now. I'm getting a little tired of being comfortable and everything's paid for, or in the process of being paid off. It's like I really need to just kind of touch the line of bankruptcy again.
Yeah.
It's been many, many years since I've been in that territory, but I think I need to revisit it by a $10,000 to $12,000 trip to Walt Disney World, which, by the way, I've found out I think I'm having to do in the fall, and I'll get to that. Remind me to come back to that, because that was just sprung up on me, and I said,
because that's on top of the cruise, man. You're doing a lot of FaceTime,
dude. This is becoming the year that
Eric's getting out of his.
Oh, you're putting it on the notes. All right, I'll explain it later, but remind me about comparing it to COVID and all that too. Put that on the note, so I'll remember my place. Anyway, so we were talking about that Disney Assembled podcast, and they were talking about, or the girl was talking about going to D23, and they were getting their because they're members of D23 or of the D23
you can sign
club
up to be a member or something.
They get advanced notice for ticket purchases and other stuff. So I went online and got the breakdown of there's a 1-day pass, there's a 3-day pass, and then depending on the tier of the D23 membership that you have. Let me see if I still have the notes here for it, because I'll tell you, there's a higher tier called D23 Gold. Like it's some kind of like gold premium member or something like that. And
I've got the pricing breakdown right now.
I have it here.
Okay.
But it was like there's a gold member thing, but it's like you get orchestra seating. Right near the stage for all the stuff going on, and you get advanced entry and all this other shit. And I said, the way these two talk, and they don't have a pot to piss in, because the daughter works 4 jobs and she's in high school to pay for a lot of this stuff. I don't know what
an out-of-state school to get away from dad, so she
I don't
put in
know
the extra hours.
Yeah, I don't know what the father does for a living, but he spends a ton of money, and apparently the mom doesn't enjoy any of this. Because whenever they're talking about planning another trip, he said, we're going to have to tell your mom, aren't we? Mom seems to be, they act like she's the wet blanket, or at least he acts like she's the wet blanket. But the mom seems to be the only sane one here, because this guy will dump their entire fortune in buying everything Disney. Anyway, the Disney ticket pricing for D23, the gold tier membership exclusive, whatever, the highest tier, $899 for a 3-day ticket. And I said, I guarantee these people they seem like the type they would be the gold members. And then later on in the show, we're playing another clip, and lo and behold, they're the gold members.
Yep.
So that means they're probably going to spend the $900 for the 3-day pass per person. It's not a family thing. It's per person.
It's not a group rate.
Yeah.
Ooh,
insane.
I'm looking at the breakdown. Oh, that's not even the worst of it. Have you seen any of this other breakdown? So the D23 Ultimate Preferred Fan Pass, which I don't know what does, it starts for the 3-day pass at $999 for the 100 level sections 110 to 112. As you move sections, as you get lower in the hundreds, it goes all the way up to $2,599. $2,000. That's a 3-day Ultimate Preferred Fan Pass. I don't know where they get them.
I know.
For what? Because I'm going to get the same experience watching it on YouTube when it gets announced. Like, unless I'm sitting on Harrison Ford's lap, there's no chance that's worth it.
Even if that was part of the package, it's still not worth it. Yeah. It's like, I want you to yell at me like you're like I'm on Air Force One. Get off of my lap.
Mad or happy.
And then he crashes his own plane into the what is it, the Anaheim? What's the name of that?
Convention Center. Well, there's
Convention Center?
doing it Convention Center, and then they're doing the Honda Center access. So I think they're splitting what venues are doing what, because they're close by.
All right.
But yeah, I couldn't believe that cost. Like, I'm looking at the price. I'm like, what do you get?
Ridiculous.
You get a hand job by Mickey.
None of that is worth anything.
No.
Remind me later.
I'll
I'll send you the link to the Who Are These Podcast episode, and you can hear the breakdown and hear for yourself. And you go, oh my God, this poor girl.
Do you know how long they've been doing that podcast? Because if she's 18 now, leaving to go to college,
I think the earliest I saw was like she was 14 when they started it.
Oof.
And they get no views, nothing. They post all over different social media platforms and nothing.
What are the I'll Watch It Later podcast starring Jordan?
Yeah, I didn't watch a podcast. Yeah, starring all your other guys there.
Jordan and the rest.
Yeah, including this guy.
I told you he ended up watching this and saw that come up, right?
Yeah. Did he get mad?
He took it in stride. He thought it was funny. I told him good because it ain't coming down.
Yeah, Aaron, look, the graphic is there. It's representing the show.
That's what I said.
I made the effort to promote.
Hold on. Aaron's making a show up in the chat there. Stop that. No.
Okay.
You can't say that to him, right? It's just going to keep happening.
I'm trying to help promote and get your guy's name out there.
You saw the logo right in the corner real small.
I did, and I chose between different logos and realized that was the best one to go with because the room you guys do that show in is very well lit. It's too well lit in a way.
Yeah, we're working on that.
So it's very white, and
like our podcast.
I couldn't do. I couldn't do
very white.
Anyway, so good on you for being a good dad and
I'm trying
taking care of your kids. I take care of my kids.
So I noticed you did that guest spot there. You also did a guest spot last night. I saw.
Oh yeah, with Chrissy Mayer, which is available
fun
on her YouTube channel. I did a one-on-one thing with her. It was very nice.
It'll be good. I think it's good if everyone wants to go there and listen. You go into some of the older stuff that a lot of the fans of this show really clamor for, like some of the history of O&A and
the history.
Like that. It was fun.
The history of Zia came up during that show, so
where did Zia come from?
I had to explain that.
I had never seen the clip of you doing the cinnamon challenge. Like, I'd heard of it. You guys had talked about it in the past, but I'd never seen you do it, and that looked horrifying.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. So yeah, that episode's over on Chrissy Mayer's channel. By the way, today she did a special solo program.
Oh no, you're getting robotic on me.
Wow.
I don't know if maybe it's me.
No, you sound fine. I sound fine. It's probably your end because, Arizona. But Chrissy did a special solo show today. It's under an hour, where she reveals something that happened several months ago to her in her family. And wow. Just, it's an insane story. And Jordan's gone. So we're going to let him reboot and I'll tell the story. So if you go over to Chrissy's channels, she told a story about something that happened involving her father being murdered several months ago. And it's an insane story. Like, I'm not trying to make light of it. I'm not goofing on anything. I'm promoting the fact that if you're going over there to see that one episode, if you got some time, pop in and watch that other episode as well, because the story of what happened and how it's still sort of unresolved and there's still kind of things happening that they're not quite sure if what exactly happened to this day. I mean, she'll tell you all in detail, but god damn, dude, hearing that story, I felt really bad for her and for her family. And like we knew months ago, but it wasn't our position to say anything. That was her news and her family. So she finally decided to open up and tell everybody what's been going on. And then she's delivering a kid in a few weeks. So
yeah,
she's got a lot going on.
Yeah, I had no idea that she was having a kid because I know I knew about her wedding and I knew that people were in attendance and I knew all that. I didn't know she was pregnant, so it was news to me as well. So
yeah. So yeah, go check out those videos over on Chrissy's channel. what else did I have going on here? Kid's been sick. Took the kid to the doctor today, and turns out it's just allergies. No fever, no coughing, no fluid in the lungs, no whatever, but the kid's head is just leaking like crazy and constantly blowing her nose and wiping her hands, wiping her face, and then she's good for a couple hours, and then all of a sudden you can just kind of see her almost dazed. Like if you punched her enough, and then she's just kind of sitting there like this, waiting for that final knockout blow, and like in Tyson's Punch Out,
she's like spinning around,
and you're hitting the start button, ready to do the jump star punch, and so she's just kind of wobbling like this, and I go, all right, I think you want to go to bed. And yeah, like she's not even fighting, so it's all right. Going to bed, pick her up, put her down, takes multiple naps. I think she's sleeping right now. Kids suffering from allergies. We don't know. I'm trying to figure out from the doctor how old they have to be in order to get an allergy test done, so we can at least have a ballpark idea.
Yeah, I was always wondering about that too. I still haven't ever gotten that done for my kids.
Right. So that's been a whole thing. I had solicitors first of the year showing up at my door. And in the township that I'm in, you can be put on a list that they give you they put you on a list that goes to people who are going to do solicitation in your town. And you get some kind of like sticker badge thing that you can put on your front windows, your door, that says that this is not a house that you can come and solicit at. Well, these people were coming around and did not give zero fucks about that list or that sticker. And they showed up in bright lime green polo shirts with black slacks, trying to sell solar panel stuff, and said that they got a letter from the power company that we might be interested in this. Now, that's already bullshit because a power company is not doing solar panel. Especially the ones out here where it's almost a legal monopoly because there's not really like places you can choose to get your power service from.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell that company is PSE&G for the state of New York and for New Jersey. There's no way they're telling, hey, I think these people might be interested in solar power. Why don't you go out there and talk to them? So we already knew it was a lie. And I said, no, I'm not interested. Well, can we just leave some stuff? No. I'm sorry, I don't. I rather talk to a Jehovah's Witness than these guys with solar panel. I avoid them at Home Depot. I avoid them where I think one was at Best Buy at one point because Best Buy doesn't have much going on anymore.
Best Buy is the worst when it comes to that stuff.
So that was one thing. Then another day, a group of teenage girls, I'll say 13, 14, somewhere in there. There's about 6 of them come to the door. Wow. And they were asking if we had any dogs that we could walk. They could walk for money. They're trying to save up for a bike. And I'm staring at now 6 girls.
A bike each or one bike to share? Like
that was their wording. They're saving up for a bike. And all I could think of is the Simpsons episode where Bart, Martin, and Milhouse bought Radioactive Man edition #1.
Right.
And couldn't share. It got ripped. It fell out of the treehouse. Lightning struck it. A dog went and shredded it to pieces. And then they realized that they spent all their money because they pulled like together for $100 that this was never meant to be because the 3 of them couldn't share. That was what was running through my head. Yeah, 6 girls trying to walk people's dogs to save money for a bike.
So 2 things. I had a solicitor come to my house today, actually, wanting to do bug stuff. Now,
stuff?
Bugs.
Okay.
As in insects.
Now, what if it was butt stuff?
I probably would not have paid for that service.
So soliciting butt stuff is what you're saying for the episode title. Gotcha.
Soliciting butt stuff. He did this bit where he was like, hey, I'm over down the street servicing Linda's house. I was wondering if you needed... First of all, dude, I don't know my neighbors. I wouldn't know if it's Linda,
Just
Jane,
go, that's
or Bill.
impossible. Linda's been dead for like 30 years.
Right.
I remember Linda when I was 5.
Linda who? And it was one of those things where maybe I'm starting to think that some of these younger people going around to the houses to do like magazine sales or doing these kinds of things maybe they don't know what soliciting is. Like, maybe they don't understand the language anymore. You know what I mean? Like, maybe when they see a no soliciting sign, they don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean, so they'll just knock on your door. I've had that happen a number of times. And I'm wondering, maybe there's that disconnect.
Right.
But
when kids, you do it, younger kids, like if they were boys that were 12 years old, 10, 12 years old, and they came to the house saying, hey, could we mow your lawn, or do you have any yard work and stuff? I get it. I knew kids that did that growing up. I used to shovel driveways during the winter and things like anything to do to make money, right? Yeah. And if these girls were younger, 10 and under, and they asked if to come walk the dog because she was trying to save money for whatever, that would have made sense to me too. You know, some of the girls do come around because there are neighbors. They'll come to the house that are selling their Girl Scout cookies. I don't think anyone has a problem with the Girl Scouts coming around to sell.
That's a solicitation I would gladly welcome to my home. Please come give me cookies.
Right. But this was very suspicious.
Yeah, well, I've had kids come to my house to offer to pull weeds in the yard and do that stuff for money because, you know, I have an HOA, so they know that, you know, once the weeds, we've gone through a couple rainy weeks here and there, so the things here just sprout up. Like the second any rain comes, they're 5 feet tall. So I've had
what grows in sand?
Just nothing but, I forget. There was one called
Killer Cacti. Hey, dude,
that would be so great. Yeah, it's just old Nickelodeon shows.
Maybe that should be your theme now coming in. I should just play the instrumental of Hey Dude.
Ooh, that would be great. But yeah, I've had that happen to the point where this past Monday, some guy was servicing my neighbor's yard, and I walked out and he saw that I had to get some stuff done, and he said, "Hey, if I offer you a quote, do you want me to clean this up for you too?" And I was like, "Yeah," because I don't want to do it. So I paid someone to clean up my side yards and front yard and spray and do
even that. I don't really mind. Like if there's somebody down the block is getting the roof redone. Mm-hmm. And they came around, and if they knocked on the door or if they left a card or a flyer or something, some people get furious with that stuff. But that makes sense to me. I'm like, all right, I'm not looking to get this done, but I get it. You know, I don't begrudge anybody trying to make a living in that sense. It's not like the guy's driving around every house in the neighborhood trying to paper the neighborhood with his flyer for his business. He's working on the street and said, hey, maybe you would want something too. Or same thing with the landscapers. Sometimes the landscapers are there and they'll leave cards out for the person that they're paid to do the work for, and they said, "Hey, could you give these out to your neighbors if they need anything?"
I was going to say, 6 kids coming to walk your dog to get a bike. That's
right.
Weird.
It just. I said no, thank you. And I have one of those dogs that's very popular that would get stolen all the time, and like you see it on the news, people are getting shot or kidnapped for these dogs. So there's no way I'm letting him out of the house.
It would be weird to be like, yeah, sure, go ahead and take my dog. I'll see you in an hour. Like,
so
who's taking them up on this offer?
Right. Let me just hand my dog over to 6. I mean, they're kids, but 6 strange kids.
Keep one of you as collateral.
Well,
then you get into some real
where's
trouble.
Jillian? I don't know. Where's my dog? I don't know. There we go. Fair trade then. I have a neighbor. Her daughter is in the local high school. And I don't think she knew who these girls were, but they came to the door asking if the same thing. And they're several houses down. And she went, yeah, sure you are. And then turned around and shut the door on the girls. And I had talked to her later that night, and I said, hey, did you have these people stop? And she goes, oh yeah, I slammed the door in their face. Because she goes, I know they're full of shit. I was like,
I try to be nice. I'm not rude about it, but yeah.
No, but she's a school mom. You know, she has kids in the district stuff. She knows it's all bullshit. She doesn't give a fuck. And I think it's hilarious. So she slammed it. It's like, no, of course they're lying. And I was like, I was trying to be nice about it. And she just kept rolling her eyes at me. And she goes, they want it for something, but it's not for a bike. I said, yeah, I know.
I find it funny that in most of these interactions that you have with people, you have made this observation that you're quick to make comments and say things that would get you in trouble. But you were kind to these girls, whereas your neighbor was you in this situation. We're like, no. And then
but she could get away with that. I couldn't in that scenario. There's certain things where I
You're
can't
not
say
chasing them down the street with a stick or anything.
can't
You're
say
just
like
closing the door in their face.
fuck off, you bunch of C words, and then slam the door. That's not gonna. Cause that's just causing so many problems.
Where's your showmanship, Eric? That would have been great.
But anyway, they got that. So yeah, the solar power people, the teen girls wanting to walk the dog to raise money for a bike, and then this is a different type of solicitation. This is almost worse. This is from people that are trying to get you to buy into some kind of March Madness bracket.
Oh, I had 3 people this week ask me.
Or some other bracket that's going on during March Madness for anything else. Like everyone's ripping off the bracket idea this time of the year. I don't know anything about basketball. I say the same thing. I don't care about basketball. I don't know anything about college basketball. Well, that's fine. You don't have to know anything. You just, it's like $20. You get 3 squares, and then, you could win this kind of money. How would I know? I'm not going to follow the bracket. I should if I'm putting my money in, but I'm not going to because I don't care. And they could easily just walk. Oh, you lost in the first round. Maybe I did. I don't know. I'm not going back to look.
I'm not a college basketball. I'm not a college sports person. Like I can care less about the college football.
Right.
I know people say, "Well, it's much more exciting." I don't care.
Yeah.
I have been asked, I think 2 to 3 times this week to get in on what you're talking about. It is like I know there was a friend of mine that wanted me to do it. I said no, and then 2 separate coworkers tried to get me into the work one. Well, they're like, well, there's a trophy for the winner. I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to be a part of this. I barely enjoy doing fantasy football, and I like football. There's no chance I want to put money on these college brackets for March Madness.
I don't want to do it during the Super Bowl when everyone has their things
numbers.
Like pick your numbers for the final digit of each quarter and this guy. No, I don't.
It's only gambling.
Well, it's only $20. Everything's always $20. It's like, It's only $20. I'd rather have my $20 than potentially win 140 or 300 or whatever it is. I'm good with the 20 sitting in my wallet. I'm okay.
I can get a Big Mac with that.
Yeah. One Big Mac.
A singular Big Mac.
Barely paying the tax.
Right.
So going back to Disney stuff. So, yeah, I have a cruise coming up in a few months. Then I have 1 or 2 trips in August for some things. Mm-hmm. Then I find out that family is going to Disney in October. And we were asked, hey, do you guys want to come along with us? And before I could even say, well, let me think about it, I was already informed that this was happening. So it's my favorite time of the year to go down to Disney.
It is nice.
Because it's October, so you're not dealing with the brutal heat of Florida summer. It's food and wine festival time at Epcot Center, which is fantastic.
It's great.
And then you have the Disney's Not So Scary Halloween, which will be perfect for the kid, which is at night. You pay extra for tickets. So when the park closes, you stay there and you go through all the Halloween stuff. Or you leave for an hour or something, and then you come back and you do all the Halloween stuff. You can get into all the rides because nobody's online.
Nobody's there.
So you can, whatever you missed during the day, you can hop back in at night. They have the Halloween Villains Parade. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
The Headless Horseman and all that stuff. Yeah,
then, really cool. Across the street, you can go over to Universal for Halloween Horror Nights. So you got that.
That's something I've always wanted to do. I've never gotten around to it.
Going to be a little hard to do with the kid, but figure out a way to make it work. All the way down to now it looks like getting a suite, which I haven't done in many years, at one of our favorite hotels on property. And I'm already just seeing that it, like, in my head, it's like watching the speedometer in your car. Not speedometer, the
odometer.
The odometer, where you just see the number going up and going up and going up. And I'm already pricing it in my head, plus the flight, plus all this. And I was like, this is going to be a 5-figure trip that I was not looking to spend. But
it's okay. At least you have a young kid, because my kid right now, because she's 12, is considered an adult by Disney standards. And my son is 2 years away from being considered an adult by Disney standards.
So dress her down a little bit and just say that she's 10.
It's annoying that 10 years old is their cutoff as an adult price.
She could pull it off. Girls always look older than boys, especially in that time frame of their lives.
Yeah.
Just dress her down a little bit.
I do, but verbally.
Yeah. So now physically and verbally dress her down. And then you could still sneak her in for, the cost of a 10-year-old for one more year. But I'm looking at it like this now. I've gone nowhere in the last 4 years because of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. The only trips I've had to take were either work-related or the last couple of years I had all the family passing away.
Right.
So that was pretty much my travel was going down when my dad passed and to help, sell their house and move my mom and do all these other things. Haven't taken a vacation, haven't done any of that stuff. And I've been pretty sick and tired of seeing everybody on social media constantly going somewhere and doing something.
Right.
So I said, you know what? I don't really want to spend that money, but I think it's okay this time around because it's been 4 years. Now, like you said, the kid's involved. And the kid will be at an age where it can sort of understand some of this stuff. So it's not completely a waste. Maybe it's necessary, just for like a cleansing of the soul and the mindset and how everybody's taking personal mental health days.
Yeah. You need a U vacation.
Yeah, it needs something like that.
I'm all for it. I mean, it's a fun thing.
Not happy with the price tag. But
no, and you're not going to be because I was pricing it out as well because it would be almost cheaper in theory for me to fly across the country from Arizona with the kids and everybody
right
to Florida to stay there and go to Disney World. And it's not much of a difference price-wise to drive to Anaheim to go to Disneyland. They have changed the pricing so much that it's almost pointless.
I know a lot of people who live in the Southern California area. Mm-hmm. And they used to tell me that people would just go to Disneyland because of the locals pass or whatever the pricing is for being local.
Yeah.
People would go to Disneyland almost on a daily basis to hang out like it was the mall.
Yeah, just to go get like food.
Yeah. You can't do that in Florida. Even for the local stuff, for the ticket prices, you're not getting that kind of access just to go and hang out.
Not necessarily true because they have Disney Springs, which is like their downtown area, which is not.
It used to be downtown Disney, yeah.
It used to be downtown Disney. It's Disney Springs, and they have restaurants. They have all their
they
stuff.
Have House of Blues down there. I think
Hollywood
Wolfgang Puck's restaurant is there.
Yeah, but that's not Disney property technically. It's like an outdoor mall and restaurant area, so
right.
you could still go to that area. If you had season passes, I would probably, if it were me, like if I was in the area, I'd go hit up Epcot and go get food there. They have all that food stuff, especially during Food and Wine.
Every time I was down there for Food and Wine, I would go and eat at the. There are better places, but I would go and get a reservation at the Mayan Pyramid.
Oh,
I forgot what it's called. But the Mexican restaurant that's inside the ride. So you sit there, you get to watch the end of the ride as they're going through the river.
I love that ride.
And then the whole inside is artificial. So it's like you start
like a night.
You start when it's dinner time, you have your reservation and they bring everybody in for your tables and stuff are roughly around the same time. And you're there as it's going into sunset. And as your meal is progressing, whatever, it's dark and then all the colorful lights come up and then it becomes sort of like a Mexican party, if you will, like an outdoor celebration with the lights, the music, live music, sangria, the fried ice cream. I forgot what it is that they do.
No, it's fried ice cream, yeah.
Yeah, with the cinnamon and all that stuff. All the stuff that makes, it's mostly Mexican, but they work in a little bit of other South American stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gabby is right. Just come to Mexico. It's cheaper. Yeah, you're probably right. Instead of going to synthetic Mexico.
It's funny because in synthetic Mexico, the ride that's there, it's I call it It's a Small Mexico because it looks just like It's a Small World, but like it's just literally South American themed. It's one of my favorite ones because growing up, I was that weird kid that liked those offshoot Disney stuff like Saludos Amigos and the Three Caballeros.
Three Caballeros.
I love those. So
Yeah.
that ride is themed that way. So yeah, I love that pavilion. That's one of my favorites.
All right. Well,
I'll come down in October and hang out with you.
might as well. If you coming out in August to hang out?
I'm gonna try. Yeah, I just realized. So here's my week. So if I come out to see you in August, I'll be in San Diego. Come back here for like a day. Fly out to Chicago to go see Green Day. Come back 2 days later. I am in Phoenix to go watch Limp Bizkit, and then 2 days later they announced live Stone Temple Pilots.
You go to the
Soul
worst
Asylum.
shows.
I'm going to everything from
They're
the 90s.
terrible.
So I may be going to that as well, and then a month later going to see Creed. So I've got a lot going on, but I definitely want to make sure I get to.
Do you hate yourself that much that you're putting yourself through this? It's like, oh, it's a 90s band. It must be good. No, 90s had shit music too. Not everything from the 90s was fantastic like people like to rewrite history with.
So yes, I'm adding to my concert calendar, as it were.
All right.
Not all of us can find a way to get out of Green Day like some people.
Oh, that's long been settled. Yeah, that's all done.
I'm like,
So
he's
done.
got to go. Nope, he got out of it.
What is Aaron saying? A month later, September 4th, brother, legit the week later.
Oh, a week later we're going to. Well, no, not a week later because he is going to go see Coheed in New York with Incubus, and then a week later,
Coheed, but not Cambria. So it's Coheed and
just
Incubus now.
Yeah, just the one.
Okay.
Yeah, Incubus and Cambria.
So it's like a super band.
Oh, that'd be great.
You like Damn
Well,
Yankees?
Yeah, Mad
Or the
Season,
Traveling
any of those other
Wilburys?
bands.
Coheed
Right.
and Incubus. I'd actually go see Coheed and Incubus, I
That would
think.
be fun.
More than
So,
Limp
yeah.
Bizkit and
Corey Feldman.
Creed and Live and Corey Feldman.
It's a crazy end of the year.
Fuck are you people doing?
I know.
I'd go see Flo Rida. Flo Rida's great. Flo Rida was very nice to people in my family. I will never have a bad thing to ever say about Flo Rida.
I was gonna say maybe with the amount of money he's got, he can buy your ticket. You go see Flo Rida.
So Flo Rida had a lawsuit going on that I was not aware of. But
I didn't know either.
I did find out that he won $82 million.
Right.
So I'm thinking about that. I'm like, wow, all right. So he must have been fighting with the record label or some management over publishing rights or something like that, owning his music. Because every time you hear a lawsuit with that high a price tag, it's usually something to do with getting your masters back or something, right?
Yeah.
Or royalties owed that they weren't declared properly, like they weren't listed as a producer on the album when they were supposed to be, something like that.
Right.
Not the case here. So Flo Rida, which, by the way, did you know if you put it all together, spells Florida?
Weird. That's
Little
his
fun
Christian
fact
name.
there for you. Just won $82 million after a judge decided an energy drink company breached their contract and tried to hide money from him.
Wow.
Flo Rida was awarded money, $882.6 million on Wednesday after a South Florida jury found that the makers of Celsius energy drinks breached a contract with the rapper and singer and tried to hide money from him. His company had sued Boca Raton. I didn't know Celsius was in Florida. Now I know.
I didn't know either.
Celsius Holdings Incorporated in Broward County Court in May 2021, claiming that the company had violated the conditions of an endorsement deal. Basically, I helped birth their company, and all we was looking for was some trustworthy people who acted as if they were in the family. And then it comes down to the success of today, and they just forgot about me. So I'm wondering, did he buy in, like to help, or they made some kind of deal where it's like, hey, look, we're trying to start out. We need some kind of foot in the door of getting some media attention. Would you? We'll work a deal where we'll give you stock down at the end, or future royalties or something.
I think he was going to be like a 1% partner in the company.
Yeah.
Which, when you start talking millions and millions of dollars, you're going to get some, 1% is a good deal. But
Right. Lawyers for Celsius argued in court and in previous filings that the company reached its greatest success after the Flo Rida endorsement deal ended, and that other business decisions led to the increase in sales and stock value. Celsius could still appeal the verdict, but it wasn't immediately clear if they would. Attorneys for the company didn't respond to inquiries and to messages seeking comment from the Associated Press. According to the civil complaint, Flo Rida was a brand ambassador for Celsius from 2014 to 2018.
I had no idea.
I didn't know they were around that long. I only discovered them last year.
Recently, yeah. Me too.
During that time, Flo Rida played an instrumental role in launching a new era for the company's brand development, growth, and expansion, introducing Celsius to millions around the world. Flo Rida and his attorneys argued that the partnership paved the way for Celsius to grow in the product portfolio, which includes adding a powder product and new product line called Celsius Heat in conjunction with Flo Rida's partnership. The company has consistently sold and collected revenues from its powder form products since then. So they were hiding.
They were hiding
They
stuff.
were cooking their books so that nobody would know.
I didn't know this was going on, and the other day I saw a clip, and they had him, Flo Rida, on the stand, and I don't even know why they had this going, but they were playing Apple Bottom Jeans in court, and you can just see him
Low.
just like...
The song's called Low, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and he was just super happy about listening to his own song in court, and he was just like bobbing his head and just like moving to it. I'm like, what kind of court? What's going on here? I had no idea that this was a thing, and then I looked it up, and yeah, this is... I can't believe he won that much money. I can't believe they're that successful to have that as an option. So, crazy. Let's see. For your relationship, Dillard says he continues to even drink Celsius products and even owns some of the stock in the company. Said he would like to move on from the legal battle and work with the company again in the future. So yes, he won. Yes, he got, he's going to get awarded or may get awarded up to $82 million. He's still wanting to work with the company. He still wants part of the ownership. He still wants to be involved. This is just him wanting to get what he was owed and continue this deal. So I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Usually it's not that amicable. You know what I mean? Like usually it's like, I want to, get this out of my life and just move on, but he still wants part of it.
It's Tom from Alberta. So a Florida company was caught hiding the sale of powder. Interesting. I see in the chat there, they're saying they couldn't hear me and everything. Yeah, I had to kill my mic for a second. Something happened where my headphones, my monitors only, like, one side is coming in. I can't hear the other side. I'm hoping they didn't, like, these were expensive monitors. I hope that, it didn't die out on me. I don't know. Yeah, I'm only hearing it on one side. All right. We'll have to figure that out after the show, or else hell will be paid to the Shore Company here. So anyway, it looks like they were skimming a lot of money and hiding stuff from him, and then they're just saying, no, we made all the money after our agreement was done. No, that seems a bit too coincidental for this to be happening. So good on him for winning $82.6 million. Now, this could be like the Hulk Hogan lawsuit, where it could, damage the company, but will he see a dime from that $82.6 million? We don't know. But good for Mr. Flo Rida. Moving on. Sea of Thieves. Did you see? It's a game that we enjoyed. Did you see the preview for the year preview event?
I didn't see it happen live when you were watching it, and you were kind of telling us some of it. I ended up going back and watching some of it after the fact. I like some of the changes they're making.
Right.
A lot of it is cosmetic. I think what's happening is that they are going to see an influx of users, so they got to keep those users on.
Yeah,
so
well, the influx comes in April when PlayStation goes live for Sea of Thieves. They're allowing, it's one of the rare Microsoft properties that they're allowing go first, not just being on their property, but what the hell is the term called?
Third party?
Third party, yeah.
Yeah. Allowing
them to cross-platform and what have you.
But,
so the preview...
You've been playing a lot more. What are the highlights? Like, what are they...
There's new weapons that they're introducing. Some of them are kind of awesome. Some are a bit suspect. Like, I don't understand what they're doing. That's for the next season coming up. It's all new weapons. They showed a preview of seasons 12, 13, and 14, which means we're going to get 3 more seasons this year alone. Seasons this year.
Oh my God. I didn't realize that was the timeline.
Season 13, they're bringing back a big bad that's been missing for the last few seasons. They're bringing back Flameheart, and they're bringing back his giant boat. Now, the boat has some kind of shark mouth at the beginning where it's open, and it's like drooling lava because evil.
That's super cool.
But you can now fight the boat, take over the crew, and then you take the boat. So your crew from your boat now takes over this boat, and you can sail around the map fighting other people's boats. Like
as Flameheart's boat?
As Flameheart's boat. That's
a cool add-on.
You have 10 cannons on this boat. Plus, if you're behind another boat, you can shoot fireballs from the front of the boat now.
Yeah, that's cool.
So you can just wreck shit up now if you're good with this boat. Also, they're adding new Reaper's forts.
Yeah.
Around. So you can stop and then you can go down. There's all this mystical ancient shit and what have you. So that's season 13. It's expanding the world by making a world event that moves around, not just going to one particular place on the map to go do that. Then season 4,
get rid of the volcanoes.
Season 14, they finally are bringing in the grappling hooks or the grappling gun. So you could run onto the island, shoot to the top of a mountain, and it pulls you right up. So you don't have to go all the way around them trying to get to the top. You can just, and it goes right up. You can grab treasure with it, and you can now shoot over to other people's boats, right? And when you shoot over to the boats, like with your cannon, if you missed the deck shot, like if you went too high, you have the grappling gun. You can aim down, hit the deck of the boat, and it'll pull you right down on there, so you don't miss the boats anymore.
That's going to be fantastic.
Now,
that's going to be ridiculous.
Lots you can do here in these next 3 seasons. And, of course, you get all the streamers who do more PvP than they do. Look, if you do some of the PvE, the adventure stuff on the game, and then you do PvP, they all go together, right? Mm-hmm. Some people only want to do the one part of the game, which is where they go around and they fight other boats and steal their stuff and ruin their good time or whatever else is going on. And that's it. If you deviate from that, they lose their shit. And they just sit there. It's like, you're going to cost me my livelihood. I don't know if I still have that text message. Not text message. That tweet that I saw a streamer that I follow posted. I think it's in our group thing here somewhere, where they were complaining about how this is going to affect how they. Oh yeah, getting triple boarded by grappling gun brigs, spamming skelly balls will likely be the end of my solo piracy career.
Get over yourself.
Get your career.
You literally should not be doing this game solo. I know you can. I know it's accessible to do so.
Right.
It is way more fun with people.
Well, this is sort of crippling people who play this game solo. Even if you're not playing for the constant fighting, if you're playing just to do a lot of the tall tales and the adventure stuff, this is going to kind of cripple some of your stuff too, because it just makes it too easy for people to get over and fuck up your boat now. You know, it's not really a matter of skill at that point to avoid or fight or whatever. Now it's just like, hey, a galleon comes around, 4 people just shoot off the boat right onto your boat with, pinpoint precision to get on there, and multiple skeletons and fire and all this stuff. And it's like, and you're just going to be fucked.
I just thought of a really fun thing to be able to do. Like, someone's on your ship holding a barrel.
Right.
You light the barrel, but you're on the other ship, and you grappling that barrel over to the bad guy and then blow. Oh my God, there's going to be so many fun things to do with this.
I'm wondering if you can pick up barrels and then just aim it at somebody like a projectile and just shoot the barrel almost like a bullet, but just launch the barrel at somebody.
I don't know.
It's
going to be really fun to try that out, though.
So it's fun. A lot of the stuff looks pretty good. I'm looking forward to it. Some of it, I'm like, I don't know how they're really going to implement all of that. But lo and behold, it was interesting to see a game company tell you exactly, like, here's everything that's coming in the next year. And this is pretty much exactly what you're going to get. That's going to be something.
I was kind of hoping they do more like story missions. Like, I know they did the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff. They did this the Monkey Island stuff, which you and I went through. That stuff is fun for me. I like those little stories that they can do. So I hope they can bring some of that stuff over again.
Right.
My big joke, and I'm hoping that one day it comes to fruition, is they do a Cutthroat Island one. So you're running around with like a digital Gina Davis, just running around as pirates trying to gather stuff.
I'm sure. I mean, there's been a lot of speculation that they're going to work Captain Hook into it at some point because they're tight with Disney. They're using Disney, Monkey Island and Pirates of the Caribbean, all owned by Disney. So
yeah,
it could work that way. There was something else about all that. Oh, so you know how I play the game, and we've told stories about how I have my own good time where sometimes I'm not I should be playing in a group formation and I'm not. I'm looking for glitches and ways to get stuck behind walls, and
I believe we have a term for that style of play that you like to do. Dicking around.
Yeah, so I'm dicking around. So it gets brought up on another show.
Oh, no.
They started talking about Skull and Bones, and they're like, "What's the game that E-Rock likes?" And it goes into that. Okay. And one of the guys has played with me before and starts telling stories about what I was doing on the game. So I'm going to play a clip from the show called Garrett and Steve. Okay. And they're talking about this. Let me bring this up here.
What's that game that Eric was playing, Drew?
Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones. The guy who made it was like some game they tried to make in 2020 and then shelved it because they couldn't, and then finally remade it again.
You can't hear it?
Can't hear it.
Oh,
damn. I don't know if the radio hears it, but I can't.
Huh. That's interesting. It should be able to hear that. Apologies. Radio was hearing it, but you weren't. Share the audio. Oh, that's what I didn't do. All right, hold on. That was my fault. I apologize.
Don't let it happen again.
I'm going to let it happen
Trying to run
again.
a multi-million-dollar production here.
All right, we'll try it again. Here we go.
What's that game that Eric was playing, Drew?
Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones. The guy who made it was like some game they tried to make in 2020 and then shelved it because they couldn't, and then finally remade it again. It's one of those live action games, kind of like Sea of Thieves, but more realistic, like you're a pirate. And the guy
Rock loves being a pirate.
Loves being a pirate. And this is the first quadruple A game.
What does that even mean? Like it's a big studio produced it?
I thought he was saying it wasn't that great, or did he like it? He really liked it?
No, Eric wasn't saying it was a quadruple. Like the maker of the game claimed it was. Oh, yeah, I don't know.
I like Sea of Thieves, and E-Rock, he is a pirate.
He is.
Every time I've played with him is so funny because he like fucks with people, and like I'm like, dude, I just want to do some missions and like get some XP and stuff. And he's like, we're gonna fuck with these people, and we're gonna
stories he tells me about. Yeah, we'll go on this ship. We'll team up with people, and we'll go loot this castle or whatever it is. And then when everyone's bringing the treasure back to the boat, right when they step on the boat, we quit out, and then they get kicked off the boat, and then we sign back in, and we get on the boat, and then we steal all the treasure. It's like,
wow, they have you down
dirty rotten schemer.
I love him. He fucking, so we were playing and we teamed up. You can form an alliance. We teamed up with the alliance and we did this whole thing where everybody gets like all the treasure, and then it came to a point where we got everything from them, and all we had to do is give on our treasure and cash in on it. But he ended the alliance just so they couldn't get the money.
They couldn't get their share of your money. They couldn't get their share.
It hurt us none. We could have just gave him money, like it would have been fine. But he's like, no, fuck them. They're out. It's so funny. He's a pirate, dude.
Yeah, he is.
Yarr.
He's fucking Blackbeard.
Walks the plank.
It's hilarious. I love it. I love him.
Jellybeard.
So
it's funny because he has a point. As long as you turn in the treasure, you're still getting your cut. They're just getting part of it.
Yeah.
It would not have hurt you at all to let them stay in that alliance.
Agreed.
But you still cut them out, and that's why I respect it.
Well, you've seen me do it when we've played.
We have had these conversations where it's like, oh yeah, just load everything on our ship, you'll get part of it, and then boom, right as we're about to cash in, we cut them out, and they're off on the other side of the map thinking they're going to get a cut.
Oh yeah.
Now they can't find us, they can't see us, they don't know where we are. It's hilarious.
There have been times where people have been doing forts or other missions or something, and we'll sail past them just to get within range to hit the thing to connect an alliance to them. Mm-hmm. And then we sail off.
Yeah.
And we don't bother with them again.
And they don't notice.
They go and they're just doing a fort where they're going to make a lot of money. And then as soon as we start seeing the cash amount changing, you'll get little notifications when stuff's being sold. We're like, we stop what we're doing and we'll just sit on the island or hang out on the boat for a little bit and just wait till it stops. Mm-hmm. And then when it stops, like, all right, they're done. And we go on the map, see where they're going. Oh, looks like they're done for the night. Cool. Drop the flag. We got half their money and they got nothing.
Yeah, we got some cash. They made nothing off of us. And it was a good night had by all.
Yeah. It's all the fun of being a pirate.
I need to get back into playing more often.
They added something new to Monkey Island. So there's some new things you can get. We have to go back and speed course, do them all again.
Okay.
There's new achievements and stuff from Monkey Island that we can do.
Yeah, like I'll watch every now and then when you get on with Girk and do stuff, and I'm like, oh, I got to get on and play, but then it's a full ship, and I don't want to take you away from that, and so I just I'll sit there and watch and do stuff. But yeah, I definitely want to get back in and do a couple more things. Like I was watching you and Rob do that glitch where you're making all that cash. I'm like,
what glitch? I know nothing about a glitch. Nothing at all. Moving on. We have some disasters I want to get to. Maybe we'll end the segment with that, but let's talk about Apple real quick since that broke today.
Yeah.
What happened to Apple versus the United States government?
So let me open this up here because we have two things about Apple. But yeah, Apple, I actually got on this morning and I log into X and I see something up there and I'm like, okay, what's going on?
It's Twitter. Just call it Twitter.
I know. I try. It's never know what is that stupid app that everyone gets their news from. So I found out that Apple is being sued by the U.S. Department of Justice because they're alleging that they are maintaining an illegal monopoly with iPhone. Mm-hmm. So they filed an antitrust lawsuit alleging the company has established a monopoly with the iPhone that has harmed consumers, developers, and competitors. Each step in Apple's course of conduct built and reinforced the moat around its smartphone monopoly, the government said in an 88-page lawsuit filed today. The cumulative effect of this course of conduct has been to maintain and entrench Apple's smartphone monopoly at the expense of users, developers, and other third parties who help make the iPhone what it is today.
Okay.
So basically, they're alleging that they're keeping consumers buying iPhone. And by doing so, they engaged in the anti-competitive conduct, including blocking cross-platform messaging apps, limiting third-party wallet and smartwatch capability, and disrupting non-app store programs and cloud streaming services. So yeah, they're going after Apple for possible antitrust and monopoly type stuff, which, I mean, I've seen.
Right.
I can't communicate with anybody with an Android phone using my Apple. It's always got the different bubbles. Text messaging, especially in group texting, is the worst.
Korean John in the chat saying text messaging is the worst for me. Yeah, that's been the big problem.
That's huge.
The green bubble stuff. I've had this where people I've worked with in different things that I do. I'm going to send this video over to you. Can you just put it up on, put it in the drive, put it over here, upload it to something, whatever. Okay. Send it over to me. And it's like the size of a little stamp. And I'm like, I can't see this thing. What do you mean you can't see it? It's like, I can't see it. It's not really, it's kind of grainy, it's gray. It's not letting me open up the video. And I tried downloading it to my phone and it still looks like shit. Well, it's got to be something on your end. No, it's not, because it's not on my end. Now we know it was on my end because I have an iPhone and every time that happens, they have Android phones. Mm-hmm. And they've been doing this for years. Now, I wanted to show you this clip because I guess a couple years ago, somebody addressed this with Tim Cook at a... I guess it's like a TED Talk kind of scenario.
Okay.
But it was the 2022 Code Conference. and a guy got up to speak and said, wanted to ask him about what they were going to do about cross-platform stuff between the Android and the iPhone. So let me see. Let me bring this up here for you. Here we go.
Not to make it personal, but I can't send my mom certain videos, or she can't send me certain videos, and so we leave.
Buy your mom an iPhone.
All right, let's get to as many questions.
Thank you.
Go right up.
That was it.
Let's not even address it. Let's just buy my stuff. Stop complaining.
Yeah.
Grandma or my mom can have that. It's kind of ridiculous that. I mean, again, we've talked about this. I have my MacBook, I have my iPad, I have my iPhone.
Right.
Generally, Apple tends to work. I've never had any issues with it. Everything works the same. Everything feels the same. Everything connects the way they need to connect. I've never had an issue. When I had a Samsung phone, when I was with Android or whatever, it becomes what I say segmented, where now I'm not getting an update at the same time because I happen to have this phone, but it's on Verizon versus someone had the same phone with AT&T and they fixed that phone first. So you're not getting the same updates. You're not getting the same firmware right away. The phones might be better at this point because they seem to innovate a lot faster than Apple. Apple seems to kind of hold back and do their proprietary stuff. But at what cost to lose that functionality between your products? So I tend to stick with the Apple, and I'm not a tech bro when it comes to one or the other. I don't take sides. I don't do the gaming wars.
Pick a side, tech bro.
I don't pick sides like that. I'm in to enjoy whatever I can enjoy.
Tim Cook was here right now. He'd call you the F word. He would
be like, F you, buy an iPhone. No, but it's kind of ridiculous. And I think a lot of this also probably stemmed from, and I'm looking through this article, when they had that big thing with Epic Games where they were saying, no, you have to take payment through our system.
Right.
You can't buy things, with Fortnite through your system because we're not getting commission off that. And, they made a whole deal. They delisted it and did all that stuff. So Epic sued them. Epic won. And right now, Apple's not only dealing with this, they are facing accusations that it's not abiding by that court judgment requiring it to open up the App Store because of that lawsuit.
Right.
So it's kind of ridiculous. And they're taking about 27 to 30% commission off of every app purchase. And that's a lot of money, especially
30%.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because the apps that I have to oversee for two other companies, Apple, at least twice a year, I'm renewing our user agreement with them because they, for some reason, require it. It's like about two times a year, at least, where I'll get a notice. It's like, hey, we can't process new updates or you can't do in-app purchasing or any of this stuff until you have to go through and approve the user agreement again. And it's like, this is fucking terrible. What we publicly have been saying is that because we have we have apps for the iPhone and for the Android versions, right? And then there's specialty versions of the apps for Roku, Amazon, Apple TV, those kind of platforms, so you could watch the content. We always tell everybody, it's great that you want to subscribe, but go to the website and subscribe. Don't do it through the app. Some people want to do it through their phone because it's just automatic and they can set it and forget it if they want to do that. And I mean, that's fine. It's your right to do that. But we put out promotional codes for discounts for subscribing, and it only works for the website. You can't do it through any of the apps. And that's because they all take 30%. Amazon takes it. Apple takes it. Google takes it. Mm-hmm. So if you have a $10 subscription, they're already taking $3 off of it, and you're there with $7 before tax and everything else. So it's kind of racketeering because they made themselves the only place really you could go to do it. Anytime for the app stuff, you have the it's not Google Play anymore. What is it? Google Play still?
I think it's still Google Play.
So the Google Play, they converted everything together, kind of like what Apple did years ago. So now the App Store is part of this, part of Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Google Music, all that shit. Mm-hmm. The YouTube Music stuff. Yeah, that's the only place you can go, and they have the majority of the market. Now, I'm for all the capitalism stuff, you know. Tim Cook is as much of a dick move as that is. It's like, well, my phone's not communicating with this other phone, and he goes, well, buy an iPhone. I get it.
Right.
I get it. You definitely should when you have a business. Like, well, it's like saying, I can't play my game with PlayStation, and I have an Xbox. So play on an Xbox. Don't play on the PlayStation. We're selling Xboxes. I'm not selling PlayStations here. There was also something, too, that I think they said about the Apple Pay was a problem. There was something with Apple Pay.
Let's see.
Are they taking like ATM fees or something through Apple Pay now? Or have they been? I don't use it. And my phone constantly keeps telling me that I have yet to complete the setup of my phone.
Yeah, my daughter's does that because I didn't set that up either. But yeah, and let's see.
My iPhone cannot be backed up because I haven't set up these settings. It can't be backed up because I have not set up my cloud service with Apple, which I didn't want to do, you know, so I don't have that. I have the basic, what did they give you, 5 gigs? Something like that.
I don't even think they give you that.
I have it just for my contacts and my notes.
It's
Photos, videos, whatever. If my phone's stolen, oh, well, I lost all of that shit. I'm not backing it up there. I have other ways of backing my stuff up. So I don't have that set up. And then, you know, you get the alerts. Oh, there's a new iOS here that's telling me that has tried to install and failed because I think I don't have it plugged in. It needs to be plugged into the power source.
Yeah.
To do that, and I don't have it when it's ready to do it, so I don't do. It's been waiting to update for a while. And then it says, complete your setting up your iPhone here by setting up Apple Pay, which I don't want. And I know a lot of people have said to me, there's like, it's convenient. What do you care about it? It's like PayPal or Venmo or anything else. You hook it to your phone, you hook it up to your phone, and you just tap your phone like you would tap your card. I don't want my phone to do that. I don't even like the fact that my card can tap. That's why I got the fucking the specialty wallets.
So they can't track you.
No, so they can't get the signal off the chip.
Yeah, see, I'm mixed where like I don't tell people they have to do
German and what
things. But I definitely used. It's funny because I've actually used Apple Pay in Germany when I was out there. When we went to the Mercedes-Benz Museum, and they make you put your backpack and everything in the lockers. And I was going through a museum. I didn't need anything, so I put everything in there. I had my wallet, my passport, everything was in my backpack. And then we went to the gift shop, did stuff, and I'm like, I don't have any of my stuff. And just got to scan my phone, and it worked perfectly. So there are times where I've used it, and it has been convenient. I don't use it as my normal mode of paying for things.
Right.
Though.
I see people at the gas station. I've seen people at 7-Eleven. I've seen people in the supermarket. They just Apple Pay, tap their phone, boom, they're good to go. And I'm not about that.
I don't like having the ability to do it off my watch. That's the one thing. I do have an Apple Watch. I've never hooked it up for that. Because I don't want to have one of those. Because my problem is, it's not so much the security of it. It's I will not know how much I'm spending at that point.
Okay.
Because I'll just be like scanning things and doing stuff. And I feel like as I've moved into the more digital currencies and like not ever having cash,
right,
I tend to go through my cash faster. And I'm looking at my bank account going, oh my God, I'm spending. Because
it's not tangible. It doesn't register in your head about what you're actually spending, like as opposed to taking cash out of your wallet.
Yeah.
And seeing what you have left or that you may need to get more or whatever. Now, look, we're not playing old man who refuses to change. I barely use cash for anything anymore.
Right.
I'm constantly trying to remind myself all the time to have at least $20 in my wallet. Because there's sometimes you're somewhere in Manhattan and you're like, I just want to get a Gatorade, or I just want to get an iced tea or something like that. And I don't have to sit there and go through, like sometimes these stores are busy or the coffee shops are busy. I can just grab something from a vendor outside for like $2. I don't have cash on me, so you have to go and do that. And then the other thing is I put money aside. Like I take money out and I have for emergencies, like say there was a hurricane or say something one of those electric bombs went off where all the electricity and everything's gone. You got to have cash to pay for something, you know? So I have cash put away.
Well, you're not going to fill your money bin with a debit card, so yes,
no.
I get it.
Imagine nowadays what Scrooge McDuck is doing. He goes, I spent all this money on this money bin, and now there's a national coin shortage. Oh, right. Because it's all in my money bin. That's where it all went. But yeah, I have cash for emergency reasons, but I never use cash for anything now.
I don't either. I used cash at the con this weekend because most times they only take cash. Like no one's taking card at a signing booth, so it's like cash only and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah, in most cases. Some of them did. Some of them
in New
don't.
York, a lot of them had the squares on an iPad, and you could slide your card. Yeah.
No, in most cases it's cash only, and I'm fine with that because then I had my set amount, and I was like, all right, this is what I'm spending. This one. I mean, there were other people that would be like, oh, I should go meet them. You know what? I don't have the cash, and it stopped me from spending way. I mean, I already spent way too much money. You know, and then having the ability
it's
just
so
to
easy to just tap, and walk your way through it, and then all of a sudden you realize you spent several $100s, and you're like, oh my God, it wasn't even paying attention.
The kids had a set amount that they could spend. I had our signing money. You know, we had lunch. I wasn't going to eat again I bought them lunch, and then we were out, and then so cash can be useful in those kinds of situations, especially if you're going to overspend.
Our pal Tom from Alberta in the chat. I only use cash for tipping now. Yeah, I do that too for most places. Restaurant service, sometimes the coffee shop, and then a couple of little other places here and there. Like when you go, I went to get my hair cut today. So, you know, I paid for everything on the card, but then I tipped the person in cash for the service, like those kind of stuff. The guys, when you go to get your car washed, the guys that are at the end when they're buffing your car, you know, because you got the elite package or whatever you did, which is what I do. And then they go and they sit there and they got to hand dry it and buff it and all this other stuff there. I make sure I walk right over and I put the money in the guy's hand so that they make the connection. Because they have some kind of weird tube thing out there where you can put the tip in there and just get in your car and leave. Okay. I always walk over to make sure that here you go.
Get it in hand.
Get it in hand, and then I walk away from it. Now, if he goes over to the tube and puts it in there, because they're doing like a bar does at the end of the night, they split all the tips and stuff.
Group tips.
Totally fine, but I just want them to know that I took care of it. You know.
Yeah.
I feel that's kind of. It's not an ego thing. I think it's just being polite and making sure people know that they've done a good job and feel appreciated for the job they just did, or the service they did for me. That somebody took the time to give them the tip.
Have you ever gotten a receipt at a place, like you sat down and eaten, you get the receipt of the bill, and at the bottom they give you the percentages of what the tip would be?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever followed those percentages? Like, did you say, okay, this is worth the 15% that's listed on there?
Well, they don't put 15. They do 18, 20, 22, 24, something like that.
Whatever. Have you followed that? And have you done the math to confirm that that's true?
I'm not good with the numbers.
Okay.
In that case, it's not
I saw
really
something.
Numbers suck.
Yes,
I'm like angry at numbers.
Yes, I'm not good with the numbers.
Saw something posted.
And if you're if you're one of those fucking idiots that put online all the time, the math ain't mathin', fuck you. I want to report them for hate speech.
Well, I'm not going to not mathin'.
Yeah,
but I did notice that someone was
that.
posting receipts.
Yeah.
And the percentages were off. Like they were charging $2 extra for that 15% mark when something should have been like $3. And I'm sitting there going, "Ooh, that's a shade." It reminds me of when you were doing Taco Bell and they were upping your bill to do the donation without you knowing.
Oh yeah.
That reminds me of that kind of shit. So.
Real quick, since you're talking about that. So a lot of stores do this now, supermarkets mostly, where if you're going to check out, they ask you if you'd round up your bill to an even number or to the next dollar as a donation to, sometimes it's like a school lunch program or some kind of food shelter or something along those lines, right? I have found out there's a conglomerate supermarket of two I think they may own more, but I know two of the stores that they own. In the Northeast, it's called Stop and Shop. In the Mid-Atlantic, it's called Giant. Same store, just two different names.
Got it.
You walk in, you can scan your customer card, right? And they give you a little price gun. So you go around and you can have your bags, because there's the New York, New Jersey area. You're not allowed to have plastic bags anymore. They don't give you bags at a store. If you buy something, you have to have your own bags, or you're carrying each item out individually, because they do not give you bags anymore. It's against the law.
Some West Coast states are like that. California's getting that way. Oregon is definitely that way.
Right. So you have the little the price gun. So you go and you set up your bags in the cart as you're picking things up off the shelf. You scan them, you put them in your bag so that you're essentially ready to go. You get to the checkout area. There's a little thing off to the side. You set the price gun to checking out, and it puts a barcode on the screen. That little light sensor scans the barcode, brings it all up on the screen, and then it tells you if please now scan any items that you haven't scanned with the gun. And usually that's stuff that has to be weighed, like produce or dried fruit, nuts, things like that, that don't have a barcode. Bulk kind of stuff. So you go through and you put your produce and stuff through there and get done. What I've been noticing in the last couple of weeks, if you don't hit the round up button, you go to check out and you hit, all right, you pick your payment choice. Like you can insert cash or pay now with card. You hit the pay now with card. It'll go through, and then all of a sudden it'll say, please wait. Somebody will come. Somebody's coming over to assist you, right? The lady working the scanning area, because I asked her and I said, I've been noticing this. Is this happening? She goes, well, I'm not really supposed to say, but yeah, we've been noticing this. If you don't hit the button to round up, your scan gets audited. Now, the gun and the sensors around the store sometimes can detect that if you didn't scan something and put it in your cart, that it wants to audit your rundown to make sure that every item was scanned. This happened to me like the last 3 or 4 times that I was there. Didn't have a lot because I don't buy a lot at Stop and Shop. They're usually more expensive than other stores. But there's certain things there that they have that the other stores don't. So I get that stuff there.
Right.
And I've had this like the last 3 or 4 times I've gotten audited on this. So they go through and she's, like the guy or the girl, whoever's there. This happened to be a girl at the time. Scans everything. Yeah, you're good. And I can sense she was disgusted. Right? And I know it wasn't at me. And she goes, oh, yeah, you're good. Goes and scans her ID and does whatever her code is on the machine. And I said, can I ask you a question? And she goes, yeah. I said, this is like the 4th time this has happened to me, right? Is it something I'm doing wrong that I keep getting flagged? And she goes, no, it's been happening way too much. And I said, okay, so other people are getting audited. She goes, yeah, all the time. So I said, so what's the convenience of this anymore? If you have to, the whole point is to scan everything so that they don't need a teller there. Can charge everything and then you can leave. If you have to come over and verify everybody's fucking purchase, you're like the girl scanning everything. And she goes, I don't know what's been going on, but the last few weeks, and I said, I've noticed this. If I don't hit the roundup button, I get audited. And she said, I don't think the two are connected. And I go, keep an eye out and let me see. So I went back the other day just to get something I could have got anywhere else, just to test my theory. Bought a few things. Rounded up, and it was only like 13 cents. Go to checkout, didn't get audited. Lady next to me, I don't know what she did. She had her kid there and had a bunch of stuff. She got audited because she had the gun. And I asked her, I'm like, did you do the roundup thing? She said, oh, no. I went, the last 4 times I didn't do the roundup thing. This time here, I did it. Now, I can't prove that that's what was happening. But it's a bit suspicious that I didn't do the roundup to charity feature and my shit kept getting audited. And then to find out that everybody else was getting audited because of this. So,
yeah,
conspiracy.
That is shady.
It is shady. It's not so slim shady.
No.
All right, we're not going to have time to get to disasters. We can do that another time. We can save it for next week. No big deal.
We'll put a whole disaster thing together.
What was the other Apple thing?
So,
the AI stuff.
AI, yeah.
So this is interesting. AI, Apple is in talks to let Google power AI for their iPhones. Now, I had to look up a bunch of stuff on this because I really didn't understand what this all was about. And then I found a couple of news reports from like Bloomberg and CNBC and stuff as they were breaking it down. So apparently, all the people who are making AI data engines, I don't know what to call them, but I'm just treating it like the video game engines, like the Unreal Engine.
Right.
Google's version of whatever it is to make AI seems to be more advanced than every other company in the world right now. Like they're ahead of the market on this stuff. And from what I understand, Apple has been working on their own thing, but they realized that they're too far behind compared to Google's advancements with this. And looking around, every other company is too far behind from where Google is at because they've really been focusing a lot on the AI stuff, despite the scandals with the changing races in the photo generations or being accused of stealing other people's artwork for AI generations and ChatGPT and all this other shit. So they worked a deal and said, hey, look, let's kind of make a partnership with this. You guys and your research and the science that you have is way ahead of everybody else's. Let's work a deal where whatever AI stuff they're going to do in the future, I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but they want to license it out to Google. So whatever Google comes up with is what they will use on the iPhone. I don't think right away, but going forward in this deal. Am I correct on that?
Yeah. So it could be for a number of uses. It could be using AI to basically computer enhance their photos. So they don't have to put in the biggest cameras anymore, but then they can upscale them using AI to digitally make your photos better so they don't have to compete with Samsung's, better cameras. You can do it where
they should. People take photos all the time. That should be one of the major features for them.
Well, I mean, even with this iPhone 15 that I've got, the camera is good, but still far behind what, the newest Samsung, whatever Galaxy phone is out there. But what they've done is that they're using AI to enhance certain things and maybe bring in, computations to help fill in the gaps that they're not getting. I could see that being something they're going to use Google Gemini for.
Right.
They're also probably going to use it for, different AI models to help with their software, to help with searches, to help with Siri, to help with, their maps functionality. I could see that being a huge deal on both sides of things. I know Microsoft just rolled out Copilot on their Bing platform. So now AI can help you do searches and find things and generate, photos and do the Chat GPT built right into their search engines. So, I mean, it could be something that could really change the landscape for the iPhones going forward. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see if that actually goes through.
I like the fact that this is a deal they're willing to work with Google with. But what we just said with that monopoly lawsuit, they're not willing to work with the text transfers between the Android platform and Apple. And then it's just, go fuck yourself with a million dicks to if you're going to try to transfer a video from a Samsung phone over to an iPhone. But we'll gladly license their AI that the photo and video that you couldn't get through a text transfer, now the AI will just regenerate it for you on our end of the phone.
Yeah,
so you don't need
now, AI currently, Google is using their Gemini features to add to the phones that they've got in their newest devices to edit videos and summarize audio recordings.
Yeah.
So, that would be the start.
Frankie Bronson in the chat pointing out the obvious, Iraq will get you killed by the Apple Mafia.
An apple a day.
He had some interesting points here on AI. He's like, making artificial intelligence nowadays is so easy and it's so stupid. AI means everything and nothing at the same time, which is true.
Yeah, because you don't know how to define it.
A lot of these companies and industry tools are all talking about AI. You should be using AI. Bring AI into your workspace, into your work platform, and do all these things. It's great to say that, but then the actual implementation of it, where you're just going, I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah, like I don't I've messed around with ChatGPT, but honestly, I don't know what to even do with it sometimes.
Right.
Like, where do I start? What do I do? It's still so new to me, and I like getting into tech stuff. I still don't know what AI does or what I can use it for.
I see notices from radio consultants and other companies and stuff where they're talking about future of radio and how AI is going to be a part of it. And we did a thing last year about how radio stations using AI to make live DJs obsolete, where it's like, oh, it's just like the newsroom. You have a news desk that feeds all the information to the AI program, and then they generate it as the news anchor or the talk show host or the DJ taking phone calls on the air, so you don't need an actual person. When you could save a lot of time, hand the paperwork to the person live on the air and let them make the decision of how to present it on the air. But you get a lot of these reports from different consultants and other companies where they're saying, if you're not using AI in your radio production or in your radio model and stuff like that, you're falling behind. And I go, okay.
Yeah, but at what cost?
Let me go look and see what it is. I can't figure the fuck out what they're meaning by you should be using AI in your audio production. To do what? Like, I know
Maybe
Adobe
to
has
clean it up.
some of this stuff here too, but they have some add-ons, I guess. I just don't know what it is. Like, you've seen how I work and everything.
Right.
I'm listening to stuff. I figure out where to clip things and edit them and whatever. You see the ads on Instagram or on TikTok where, like, download this program, and if you do a podcast, it'll make 10 viral clips for you just by setting the program. It's like, one, you don't know if those clips are going viral. They only go viral when they go viral. You can't say everything is a viral clip. That's not how it works. Two, it's picking 10 clips that it thinks are the best parts of your conversation. That really should be the host or the people producing the show making that judgment call of what we want to present to put out there for you.
Right.
Unless the AI really knows, like, hey, that segment you guys did would be great for best of, and it clipped that there, and you go, yeah, I was thinking that. Wow, that's pretty cool that the program thought that. That's not happening. Sometimes you want to edit stuff, and not just like you're cutting stuff out to like people like to do for gotcha moments when they put out there. No, that's out of context. Play the whole 2-minute clip instead of the 10 seconds where one person said this, and you're trying to villainize somebody. You got to have the whole context of everything. And I don't think the AI stuff does this. I don't know enough about it in my own industry when they're trying to tell you should be using it more. Okay, but show me something. Like, let me watch a seminar or I'll go to a training thing. Right. Show me what this technology is that I'm supposed to be using for doing radio and doing television, editing and producing all this stuff. And if it makes sense, I'll gladly use it. I just don't know what it is, and I'm not understanding and it's not from not being capable of understanding it. It's like you said, I don't know what exactly it is and what it's doing.
Yeah. I think some of it is like the production side of things, cleaning things up, getting rid of gaps in sound. Like, if there's long pauses, it'll cut them out, do all that stuff. And that's great.
Have you ever heard something that was so tightened up? Like,
it's ridiculous and weird.
Some podcasts overproduce their shit, and it's usually stuff where they're talking with, they're trying to sound like NPR, where they're talking with authors or financial people or somebody of somewhat importance, and they cut so much of the dead air, the pauses in a conversation, and it just
doesn't feel natural anymore.
No, it goes from like this here to, what do you think about this? Well, I don't know about this. What about that over there? Go over there. Like, there's no pause in the flow of a conversation. It just says, oh, empty chunk, empty chunk, empty chunk. Cut it out. And now it looks like it's all tight and ready to go. And you listen to it like, this is abysmal. Like, I can't listen to this. This is not natural sounding. I don't know what it is.
It's weird.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we got a bunch of stuff happened this week. Every time we get close to the showtime, it's like, it doesn't seem like there's enough this week. And then the day before, the day of, a bunch of stuff falls out. And you go, wow, okay, we have more stuff to talk about here.
We had months during a strike where nothing was happening and we were struggling to get segment 2. And now we have, I like cut stuff out thinking it's not going to be important enough for the show. So like, yeah, we're getting a lot.
Ooh, all right. Well, look, stick around, kids. We'll find out what Jordan deemed was so important that we have to talk about. Jordan's our AI. It made its own decisions. We'll find out what those decisions are when we come back.
More, it's Eric Nagel. It's Eric Nagel. Next. It's Eric Nagel. Follow the show on all social medias at It's Eric Nagel for ways to watch or listen to the show, both live and on demand. Go to itsericnagel.com. It's Eric Nagel is back.
Segment 2 of the show. Eric, Jordan here with you, going over television, movies, streaming updates, all of that stuff to keep you in the know and telling you what you don't have to waste your time with. As always, we start off, what are you watching, Jordan? Tell everybody what's been in your viewing scope.
Well, as of today, Thursday, the 21st, I watched the new Roadhouse. It is
Roadhouse.
Super fun. It is really, really good. Now, it's not, you're not comparing it to an amazing original. I was never one to like Roadhouse at first. I rewatched Roadhouse, the original, and I thought it was better than I originally had a moment with. But this new Roadhouse is actually really, really fun. It takes place in Florida. He's an ex-fighter. He goes through and gets hired to be... Well, he wasn't originally going to get hired to be a bouncer. At first, the movie starts off with... I'm trying to think who the rapper is. Post Malone is in this at the beginning as a pit fighter, and he's fighting everybody. So then he's like, okay, I'll take on any newcomers or whatever. And then Jake Gyllenhaal comes in, takes off his hood, and he goes, I ain't fighting that fucker. And then he bounces. So there goes Post Malone. He's in it. Conor McGregor is a terrible actor. He's just the worst. He's not that great. Now, here's the thing. I was really trying to pay attention to it because we talked about this about 2 weeks ago when there's a lawsuit coming in trying to allege that AI was used, speaking of AI,
right,
was used to do dialogue and do this stuff to get this movie out there. There were moments where Conor McGregor's talking that I don't think that was his voice. And I got to go back. I'm going to rewatch.
Like AI or just somebody overdubbed it?
It was either really bad ADR or it was AI.
Okay.
And Conor
probably
McGregor's
ADR
Irish
because when he starts yelling, his accent gets
Irish comes through big time in this.
So jumbled, yeah.
There were parts I didn't understand a word he was saying. I'm like, okay, but he's super over the top. He comes in around halfway through the movie, so. But it's fun. It's a really fun movie. It's on Apple. Not Apple, Amazon Prime streaming. So if you've got Amazon Prime, it's on there. Go check it out. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. The other stuff that I'm watching that's new, I watched the first 2 episodes of X-Men 97.
I'm still finishing the first season of the original run, so it'll be a while before I get to X-Men 97.
It is, aside from the animation looking more polished and a little bit updated because, it's 2024, it's a very good show. It is really fun. I'm having a good time with it. My kids who have never watched the older series watched these first 2 episodes with me. They got super into it, so we went back and we started watching the old series today while I was on lunch. It's a fun show. It's just a polished version of what we used to have.
Right.
Almost to the point where Storm is still being over dramatic and doing her powers. They made Cyclops super badass. Like, he was doing stuff in this cartoon that almost redeems every dumb version of Cyclops that's either been on screen or in cartoon.
Okay.
It is really fun. I was very surprised. Like, I was very apprehensive because, you always have these fond memories. At least for me, I know you didn't really watch them too much, but of these properties. So you're like, oh, they're going to continue it. They're going to fuck it up. They're not going to do something great. And it's perfect. Like, I thought it was really fun. And I'm seeing a lot of people complain online, and those people complaining didn't understand what the series was about. in the 90s and now. So I don't care. I'm having
about
a great
looking
time,
at Rogue's ass,
which is flat as a pancake in this new series. But hey, whatever. At least Jubilee's more Asian.
They they brought back the term flattening the curve for a lot of the female characters in there.
So I highly
a lot of body dysmorphia, a lot of body shaming.
Yeah, they're doing the 2-episode bit where they put them out, get everybody hyped up, and then they're doing weekly. So I don't have a 3rd, 4th, 5th, whatever episode.
Right.
So they'll be every week. And I watched Madam Web. It's everything that everyone says is bad about it. They are lying because it is worse than that. It is not a good movie. It is boring. The plot is terrible. The dialogue is bad. There's nothing good about this movie. I don't know why they thought they could get away with what they put out and that no one would give it shit. I don't know who's running what test screening they thought was good.
I've seen reviews where it said even the actors in the movie look bored.
They are speaking bored. Like, there are line deliveries where he's like, I guess. Yeah. And it's like there's no emotion. There is nothing. This was a paycheck movie, and that was it for some of these people.
This guy was touring with my mother down in the Amazon as she was studying spiders.
That wasn't even in the movie. They cut that out. Either because they got so much backlash, or they just put it in the trailer because they wanted cutting room floor shit. This is not a good movie. Like, I don't recommend wasting any time on it. If you want to watch it, like when Giddles does these bad movie nights, if you have a group that you want to watch really bad stuff, go ahead. But it's not worth wasting your time.
Knock down the room a few pegs.
It is a rough hour-and-a-half movie to watch. It is not good.
Well, shame on you for watching that. What else did you watch?
I finished up Halo. It's dumb. It's like fan fiction from people who never watched, played, or done anything with Halo before. At the end of this last, I think, season ender, they brought in the Flood, but it's not. There's like zombies. It's so stupid. I'm done.
All right.
Season 3, you can kick rocks. I'm not doing this.
I watched Wonka, the new.
How did you like
the
that?
latest Willy Wonka installment? It's not terrible. It's not great, but it's not bad.
A lot further than I did.
Way too many songs.
Yeah, they start off the movie with a song, like right off the bat, and it almost turns.
Now I know the original movie. Everyone says, "Oh, there's music in there too," but it's not that often.
No,
like, and it's to move either a story along or it's part of a plot device for telling the story. Here, there were just songs that they kept throwing in because, like, oh, let's throw another song in here. Oh, let's do another song over here. Let's add another song over here. Too many fucking songs.
Yeah.
The story was like I was really excited to see about how he built the chocolate factory. And even watching that, it was like, oh, okay, so what was supposed to be built off of chocolate, now he's got the place he's building the factory, and it's just waving a wand and it's all magic. So it doesn't even really mean anything.
No. See, I got to the point where he meets all the misfits that were indentured to the little hostel that he was staying at.
Right.
And then I at that point, I was already bored. I was like, I can't go past this.
Yeah, I couldn't deal with it anymore.
There's not much more for me.
So saw Wonka, and then I saw Quiet on the Set.
Less depressing than Wonka.
We had just talked about it, I think, on the end of last week's show. And I went and I watched all 4 episodes.
Yeah, I still have not gone to it, but I have.
And
it is all over X, Twitter, TikTok. Everyone's.
I will tell you this: it's 4 episodes. That 4th episode is a doozy. Like, it delivers.
Is that the Drake Bell one?
It is.
Oof.
And just hearing the story and hearing everything else, you're like, wow. Like, just
like, how did
horrifying.
It get to this point? Yeah.
Yeah. So I do recommend it's on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Now, here's what's interesting. It's not on the front page.
That's weird.
Brand new documentary. Getting a lot, unless they've updated it now. When I went to watch, it was not on the front page. It was not available anywhere. It wasn't even under suggestions. I had to type and search it for it to show up.
The only reason I knew about it is because Twitter and TikTok have been constant about this.
Right.
Like they have been going nuts over it. I'm like, okay, what is this? And yeah, now it's on my recommended for you. But yeah, it's one of those things that just kind of
here's
showed
what's on the
up.
front page of Max. A bunch of different broadcasts for March Madness. March Madness. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Tokyo Vice, which I'm not sure. I think I want to watch. I'm not sure if I
marked
if I'm interested or not, but I marked that. Something called Dream Scenario with Nicolas Cage.
That's a good one.
It is? Did you see it?
Yeah, I ended up watching it. Like right when it dropped on Max. I forgot to add it to what I watched.
Okay, hold on. Adding to my list. And done. All right, so there's that. And this thing I bookmarked called The Regime, which I'm...
Oh, with Kate Winslet.
Kate Winslet. So I'm not overly familiar with it yet. Recommended for you. It's not there. Today's picks. It is not there. Scrolling down
they're
the
really
list.
promoting March Madness like big time on this front page.
No, I get it. For March Madness fans, not there. Oh, this changed. The top 10. It's number one most requested or most viewed property on Max right now.
Yep.
As of yesterday, was not that. But they updated it there. Yeah, this was nowhere to be found on the front page end of last week, and I think I finished it on Tuesday. And yeah, it was not on the front page at all. But lo and behold, there it is now. So, all right.
Yeah, I'm going to look up to see if there's any more episodes coming. Because if they, did so much with
I think
fourth
that's
episode,
it. I think it was just the 4 parts.
Interesting. And about an hour long?
Yeah, about an hour long each. So yeah, watch that.
It sounds depressing, but I'll watch it.
And then tomorrow I am going in the morning, closer to noon, going to see Ghostbusters.
I am going to go see it Sunday night because Saturday night I'm going to go see Late Night with the Devil.
Okay. Oh yeah, you told me about
So
that.
I want to see that one. So those will be interesting.
I want to watch that too at some point.
I've been trying to avoid the reviews on Ghostbusters. I know some people have not favored it at all, and I'm trying to
avoided all the reviews except on certain feeds where you see like Nerdist is shitting on it, IGN's shitting on it, other places that do reviews are shitting on it. Like I think IGN gave it like a 4 out of 10. And here's what it lacks. It's like I'm not reading the review. Because people I know that like Ghostbusters that went to see like the LA premiere last week or early this week. No, it was the end of last week. And saw the New York premiere of it. Liked it.
Now, when I go see it, do I bring my friend here that someone generously sent over?
Which co-host is that? Is that Scott?
Would be, Eric Nagel from It's Eric Nagel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that looks about accurate.
I've got my Slimer.
Yep, my Slimer's over there.
I was going to say, I'm like, this is actually really nice. Like, this is
heavy. It is. It's fantastic. I've had a lot of people tell me, it's like, the Regal theaters have the trap. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I don't want that.
Too.
Then AMC has the trap, but their trap has this purple cone to make it look like the light's coming out of there. Makes more sense than opening the trap door and having your popcorn there. This has a big, like, upside down pyramid.
So you get more popcorn.
They get more popcorn in it. And
I saw someone's got the Ecto one too. And it's like, I've got an Ecto one behind me in Lego. I don't need that, but that trap would be kind of cool.
I was thinking about it. I was like, I don't think I want it, but I don't know. I'll see. It might be an impulse buy when I get to the theater tomorrow and go.
That's another one you mount a light in where it just shines out the trap.
Well, I have a professional looking trap over. I can't. I can get to it over there. I have one because I found it. It was a really high end version of it that happened to be mislabeled or something at a clearance end cap at Walmart.
Oh, nice.
And I got it for like $30.
Oof.
It has wheels. You can roll it out. It has the thing you can step on it, opens the trap, lights shoot out.
I'm jealous. That's cool.
And all that stuff. And I'm like, why do I need the popcorn version if I have that thing over there?
If you've got something, it's exactly why I don't need an Ecto one. So yeah, if you've got it, don't get it, that one.
Right. Well, Anyway,
Or
I'm
if
going to
you
see
see it, let
Ghostbusters
me know.
tomorrow. I tried going down this week down to the Hook and Ladder to see
yeah,
the
that's
big
right, 'cause they
Frozen
were doing all the
display
stuff.
around and everything, but there was just too many people around there. I couldn't
I
get.
bet.
I was like, I'm not waiting on this line. This is ridiculous. So I just went back uptown and didn't bother with it. Out right now for your viewing pleasure, as Jordan said, on Disney Plus, episodes 1 and 2 of the X-Men 97 continuation series is available for you. As I said, Ghostbusters is out this week in theaters. Also, Late Night with the Devil, which Jordan's going to see. And then what is Luca?
It's that remember when the Disney Plus was getting all those straight to Disney Plus Pixar movies?
Mm-hmm.
And now they're putting them back out in theaters. So this is the one about the little kid who befriends another little kid who ends up being like a mermaid or someone from the sea. It's like a
Yeah, I don't
one of
know
those
this
ones.
one.
Yeah,
I'm looking
cute.
at it here.
It didn't do well on Disney Plus. Not a lot of people liked it. I enjoyed it. My kids enjoyed it. But yeah, it's part of the. I think they were doing Turning Red, Luca, and Soul. So this is, I think, the third and last of the Pixar reissues.
All right, Amazon Prime, Roadhouse, as we said, and on Max, Quiet on the Set, the expose on Nickelodeon, also available for you. Coming out next week, which I haven't bought my ticket. I better do it tonight. Godzilla X Kong.
I
the New Empire. I want to watch it. The pink is really annoying me. I saw a bunch of toys in the store today, and
it's just them to market new colors and new schemes for toys.
Kong's got an Infinity Gauntlet, or it looks like a robotic arm.
Konglet.
It looks like It looks like part of Ripley's robot machine in Aliens 3.
Yeah, the loader.
Yeah, it looks like he's got the loader arm on him there, and then Godzilla's got pink spikes because he's the punk rock Godzilla now or something. But that's available next Friday, and then nothing really till we get into mid-April. So we don't need to bother
there's a
with
Sydney
that.
Sweeney nun movie coming out next week.
Again, nothing till mid-April that we have to worry about.
Exactly.
Moving on, Star Wars news. Apparently there's some of that. The Star Wars camp taking a page from the Marvel camp, combination of Marvel and Sony, that we talked last week how they're releasing every Spider-Man movie into the theaters week after week after week. So you get 1 week to watch in the theaters these old movies. And I wrote it down. Here it is. So April 15th, you get Spider-Man from 2002. April 22nd, Spider-Man 2. April 29th, Spider-Man 3. May 6th, The Amazing Spider-Man. May 13th, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. May 20th, Spider-Man Homecoming. May 27th, Spider-Man Far From Home, which is awesome that that's going out on Memorial Day weekend, right? Somewhere around there. And June 3rd, Spider-Man No Way Home, which is the biggest of all the Spider-Man movies. Now, Star Wars is going to be doing the same thing. So Lucasfilm announced that today that in celebration of the 25th anniversary of Star Wars, The Phantom Menace, fans will have a chance to experience the entire Skywalker saga in the theaters May the 4th, which is timely. Also known as Star Wars Day. This includes all 9 episodic films in chronological order.
That's a long day.
No one's going to do that.
I briefly thought about it, and then I'm like, I don't know if I want to sit through. I don't know if I want to sit through Phantom Menace. Like, I don't mind the other two.
Roughly, those movies are.
Originals.
We're going to say about 2 hours. We're going to round up about 2 hours for each movie. That's 18 hours. No one is spending 18 hours at the movie theater watching all those movies.
Now, I did that when the first Avengers came out. So Avengers was a big deal. It wasn't part of Disney. The one Disney bought all that stuff.
With you,
they did that.
Right.
I went and saw the whole first phase. So the Hulk, all that stuff. That was a long day. I don't know if I can do that. All those movies, because you're right. That seems ridiculous. Spider-Man being spread out weekly, I'm cool with. I actually may go and see all of them over again.
Makes
that would
sense.
be fun. All in one day would be rough.
After Spider-Man's done in June, right?
Yeah.
The beginning of June. Do the following weekends every week there's a new not a new Spider-Man. There's a new release of Star Wars
right
back in the theater. Ride the whole summer out. You'll get everybody going every weekend to see that.
Yeah, the summer of Star Wars.
You're not going to get people to go sit through 18 hours of the Star Wars saga.
Yeah.
That is just so fucking dumb. Oh, May the 4th. That's too much. That's asking too much of a fan base that's kind of on the edge already with how shitty you've been performing in the last several years.
Yeah.
But anyway, there is that. More Star Wars news. The iconic beverage of blue milk is going to be released for a limited time. The blue milk we've all seen in it's the first one, right? New Hope.
Yeah,
New Hope.
yeah.
And then they made it a thing at the Disney parks when you go over to what's the Star Wars area in the park called?
Galaxy's Edge.
Galaxy's Edge. You could get yourself a blue milk drink, frosted milkshake, whatever it is, right? So it's coming to the stores. You can get it in a half gallon or a quarter gallon or whatever the size is. True Moo Blue Milk by Dairy Farmers of America. True Moo is described as a delicious vanilla flavored milk with blue food coloring. Fans can expect to see it in on store shelves beginning April 17th.
Yep.
It just sounds disgusting.
It does.
I know it's vanilla and vanilla's fine, but the blue just puts me over.
You can just put it in cereal.
Just.
But like brand cereal, like really throw it off, like a healthy cereal with its blue milk.
Put it in water balloons and just start throwing it at people. Blue everywhere. All right. This is kind of cool. So
this is cool.
Here in New York City, they started as we're broadcasting. And then the movie screenings start tomorrow night. In a special event here in New York City at the iconic Empire State Building, Lucasfilms continued the Imperial March, a month-long celebration of Star Wars villainy with reveals of action figures, toys, collectibles, apparel, accessories, and more as we marched on to May the 4th. So now it's not even May the 4th is enough for them. You have to take the whole month of March to May 4th. So they're taking 2 months to stretch all this out.
Look, I'd rather have an Imperial March instead of March Madness, so I'm cool with this portion of it.
Fair point. I think I'm with you on that. The biggest day of Imperial March yet. Fans get their first look at Hasbro's adorable Force and Telling Vader. I don't know what that is. New Star Wars, the Black Series figures, and much, much more. But tonight on the Empire State Building, we'll host a Star Wars-themed dynamic light show featuring fan-favorite villains, vehicles, scenes, and surprises from across the galaxy. If you can't be there, you can tune into the official Star Wars TikTok or StarWars.com to watch it. Don't miss it and browse the gallery, blah, 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 blah. Now, they're also doing what this isn't saying here on Friday night. You can watch Return of the Jedi.
Revenge of the Sith?
No, the second one.
Oh, Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back.
Which makes sense.
At
State Building.
A movie screening, I think, at the top of the Empire State Building.
They had a giant Funko Vader put up there. So
Right.
they got Vader, and then Hayden Christensen was there tonight.
Insane.
Yeah. It's a whole thing. I had no idea it was coming.
Right.
No, obviously it was a surprise, but like it's just crazy that this was just a thing that they decided to do. I know they've got all kinds of new merch coming. But
Look at
look
that.
at that thing.
That is amazing.
That is super cool.
Now it's playing the Imperial March. It's playing Star Wars and all that. We're not featuring the music on there, but you can see right here. Look at this. This is all LED. Oh,
Yeah, but look at that is super cool.
very cool. They took the antenna.
Oh, you can see lightsabers going at
Yep.
the top there.
They took the antenna of the Empire State Building and turned it into the red Darth Vader lightsaber. This is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it looks
There's Darth Maul.
insane just on like the screen here. I couldn't imagine you're sitting down there on the street and you're looking up and watching this happen. Like, how cool is that?
Oh, there's that time travel ring or whatever it was that was in Ahsoka.
Yeah.
with the Imperial fleet.
Yeah, it's the light speed. It's to get you to the next.
I've been thinking about it. Universe. I liked Ahsoka a lot more than I thought I would have.
Right? Like it kind of it sinks in a little bit.
I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, oh, the gold stormtroopers, and then Admiral, what's his name?
Thrawn.
Grand
Admiral Thrawn.
I was like, I kind of like this. You need somebody that is a bit relatable, but also going to be the big bad for anything. And since Darth Vader's not active right now, having Admiral Thrawn coming through is pretty damn good.
You need someone to be the focal point and stuff like that. Pivotal Pete's asking, is that the live cam? No, this
it's already live. Over. This is footage from the live cams that they were.
This went live at
streaming.
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. So it was already up and running by the time we started going live here. So this is past footage. But yeah, it's super cool.
It's so awesome. Look, there's Han and the Carbonite.
Yeah. And it doesn't seem like they're just sticking to certain things, like they're doing like to kind of just overall Star Wars stuff. Like it's really neat.
Yeah, let me skip through a little bit here. Yeah, look at that. Lightsaber fights, and there's Darth. Yeah, this is awesome. So if you want to go check it out, you can find it online at starwars.com.
But yeah, if you go to starwars.com, and you'll find the entire list of all the toys and books and everything that they're planning to release. I know I have some of the like actual lightsabers that you can get from like the Disney parks. They're adding new ones to the parks, and then the Disney parks, since we were talking about Disney earlier, are doing the Summer of Star Wars, where they're going to take Space Mountain and do Hyperspace Mountain, so it's all Star Wars themed, and they got all kinds of celebration stuff coming.
Look, Frankie Bronson in the chat, Star Trek greater than Star Wars. Normally I would agree with you because I grew up a big Star Trek fan. Like I didn't give a shit about the original TV series, but I liked the movies, and I loved Next Generation. Apparently they were supposed to go forward with, I think it was called Star Trek Legacy, which was going to be a continuation of the Picard show.
Yeah,
that was on Paramount.
Ship.
And the new characters that you met, and the ship and everything else. And I thought that would have been awesome.
That would have been great.
But somehow it didn't. It's not being pushed forward. It's not on any of the future releases list. And a lot of people are pissed off. They're thinking they're just purposely ruining the franchise by not doing anything with it.
They set up something so good with at the end of that series with 7 of 9 actually getting the Enterprise and having her new crew and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, this is going to be cool. And then they're not doing anything with it. It's kind of a bummer.
So we'll keep you updated if we find out that they're actually going to do something with it, because they really should. All right, moving on. Final Star Wars news. There was a new trailer released this week for The Acolyte, which is set to make its debut on June 4th on Disney Plus, and tells the story of the end of the High Republic 200 years prior to the start of Star Wars A New Hope. So this is a massive prequel jump in time.
Yeah, so they're going back a little bit. So, the Jedi are riding high, the Sith are kind of on their way out, and apparently it's supposed to be a darker take on Star Wars lore. So, like, it looks like a Sith is going around killing Jedi and stuff like that. So, hopefully it does well. I feel like a lot of the Disney Plus stuff, especially with Star Wars, is hit and miss.
Right.
Whereas, for every Ahsoka, you're getting like, really bad Star Wars movie. So we'll see. I don't know. It looks cool, so I'll watch, obviously. But
yeah, I'll give it a go.
We'll see.
I'm looking for new stuff. Boondocks 3 is in the works.
Yeah, your favorite movie.
So the Boondock Saints is back. The first movie was great, but if you go back and watch it, you're just kind of I don't care. The second one, I don't even think I finished because I didn't like it, and then it turns out everyone hated it. So now they're doing a third one. It's a continuation of the 1999 that first one came out.
Isn't that crazy? I know.
The cult favorite film, The Boondock Saints, is upon us. The producers behind John Wick films have stepped up and joined with the rights holder, Dragonfly Films, to make what they're calling the universe expansion of the action film franchise about the fraternal twin Irish brothers who raise holy hell to rid the Boston hometown of criminals. It might do okay because of Norman Reedus being so popular now. But I don't know if I care. Like, if it was on, if it was available, I may click on it, but I don't think I'm going to the theater to see it.
I'd be surprised if it went to the theater. Like, it could be one of those things where it could be a streaming thing. I mean, most things that are coming to the theaters usually end up within 2 to 3 weeks on streaming anyway.
Right. So
you may not have to go to the theater to see it soon. I know that the original director of the first 2 movies, is stepping down as a director. He's going to be doing like spin-off stuff like comic books, doing the Joss Whedon bit where he's going to continue storylines in other formats.
Right.
So right now, Norman Reedus has signed. He is going to be part of it. So is Sean Patrick Flannery. They're currently shopping around to find a director, and I don't know even how far they are with the script process, considering all the strikes happened and probably stopped a lot of these things happening. So we will see.
All right. I'm seeing Pivotal Pete in the chat saying, didn't they take all the Star Trek movies off of Paramount? Is that the case? I'm going to look right now and see.
I know that a lot of these things were just rights issues.
But
so
they own
may
it.
have come off.
Paramount owns it.
Yeah, but maybe they don't have streaming rights just because, it's like when we see with some of these Marvel properties or even Sony properties, they may not be going to Disney right away. They have to go to Netflix or they have to go to Stars or any of that crap because of how they signed off on the streaming rights.
The movies are not on Paramount.
Yep. And I think I noticed that the other day when I was going to watch Generations for some reason.
Star Trek, complete series of Star Trek Voyager, Star Trek Next Generation, Enterprise, Deep Space Nine, Picard, Discovery.
So it looks like they have a lot of the TV shows, but none of the
Strange New
actual
Worlds. I don't know
stuff.
what that one is.
That was like
the cartoon series from Nickelodeon called Lower Decks,
which apparently everyone loves. I've never watched it.
The J.J. Abrams remake of Star Trek. Star Trek, the original series, is on there. Yeah, the sequel movie to the original Star Trek, to the J.J. Abrams Star Trek, is not there. And the old movies, including the Next Generation movies, are not there.
So I noticed, speaking of Star Trek, remember the other day I was messing around with my my VR, and I have Star Trek, basically like you can be a captain. I found that I had a download on there that I didn't know about, that I can be on the Enterprise D from Next Gen. I was extremely
is that what I popped in on with your Facebook stream? Okay.
Yeah. So I was captaining my own ship, and apparently I switched over the ships, and I was on the Enterprise D, and I was super excited. I'm like, I'm on the Enterprise D. I was like looking around, and you could see the ready room area. I saw the carpet. I'm like, oh, this is nuts.
And I was just writing obscene things in the chat showing up to there. Pivotal Pete also following up says, Paramount Plus has been the sole streaming home for all the Star Trek feature films. However, that changed at the beginning of 2024. If you want to stream one of TOS or TNG movies, you have to go, in the United States, you have to go to HBO Max to do it. And I logged into HBO Max, and lo and behold, there are all the movies.
Wow.
They're all there. That makes 0 sense.
That is so weird.
Unless Max, or who owns Max? Warner Brothers. Unless Warner Brothers paid a ton of money to get the movie rights to stream for whatever reason. Wasn't there something that we covered this story? Wasn't there something that Paramount was looking to merge streaming services with somebody? Was it with Warner Brothers?
Max. Yeah.
That CBS was going to do some kind of news mix with CNN.
Right.
That the CBS network and the news division of CBS was going to go and do stuff, form something new with CNN, and then Paramount was going to do this deal with one. So maybe that's the first step in this deal.
Could be.
Is moving, because probably Paramount's not doing well, and everyone is, look, most of the 3 platforms everyone talks about: Disney Plus, Netflix, HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
You got Peacock if you're into baseball or for wrestling or for a few other things. You hear Peacock mentioned. Rarely do you hear Paramount Plus other than South Park's got a new special Do you hear people talk about Paramount Plus? So maybe that's what it is. It's costing them too much money, and they're trying to, hey, why don't you buy our catalog and let us get out of this?
I forget about Paramount Plus mainly because I've talked about this before. I hate their interface. Like they have the worst streaming app it's still the worst, and it's slow.
Paramount Plus also covering March Madness, so they're broadcasting other games too.
Dumb.
All right, moving on. Ready Player 2 in development. I can't believe anyone cares about this because no one gave a solid fuck about the book.
It didn't do well at all.
So now they're working on the movie Ready Player 2. Steven Spielberg revealed that the movie adaptation for Ready Player 2 is in development. This came in response to a question about the work projects he has for the year. Spielberg's statement was brief, but enough to ignite excitement for the second part of the story inspired by the virtual reality and the metaverse. Furthermore, Steven Spielberg revealed that his role in Ready Player 2 will be in production only, not directing. This is surprising news as he directed the first film, but this time the directorial role will be in the hands of another filmmaker who has not been named. So they have not revealed who is taking over that. Nope. I'll watch the movie. I was excited for the book, and I was like the original book. I didn't read it. I did it a book on tape, you know.
Oh, so you got to listen to Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton. Yeah. But that was before I really despised him. But
right.
So I was hoping to find the second one, and then so many people told me they read the second book, and they said it is so disappointing. Like it was not good. I'll watch the movie. Maybe this will be one of those instances where the movie's better than the book, like The Godfather was better than than Mario Puzo's book, like The Shining was better than Stephen King's book. Maybe this will be one of those times. Hopefully, but we shall see.
Passion of the Christ was better than the Bible.
Right. Do we need to do this thing with Late Night with the Devil?
No, we don't have to.
All right. Trailers. A bunch of teaser trailers dropped this week.
Yeah.
One for Beetlejuice. We see them attending a funeral, and then for some reason, Winona Ryder runs upstairs and pulls the tarp off of the model town that Alec Baldwin and who was his wife? Was it Gina
Davis?
Gina Davis built.
Maitland's.
Yeah. And all of a sudden Beetlejuice just appears. And he's like
the juice is loose.
The juice is loose or something like that. Whose funeral are they at?
I think it's Charles Dietz, Jeffrey Jones's character, because they can't have Jeffrey Jones in the movie.
No.
So if they kill him off early, quickly, that would make sense why Catherine O'Hara's there at the funeral. It's her husband, and then everyone's mourning the loss of a possible pedophile.
So that's so that movie's coming. Here's the release information for it. Will be released only in theaters and IMAX on September 6th of this year nationwide, and internationally beginning 2 days earlier on September 4th. So be prepared to have the movie ruined for you before you even get a chance to go and see it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if they don't do a third movie and call it Beetlejuice, they are missing out. That is my prediction is that's what they'll do.
And then somehow it ties into Bloody Mary and Candyman. Like all of them are there, and they got to fight it out.
They all just show up.
Yeah, they all just show up.
Like Freddy versus Jason.
Another teaser trailer came out this week for the new Alien property called Alien Romulus. Posters have been dropping online and hanging up in random places. I saw somebody I forgot what city it was. It was hanging somewhere, and they're like, "Holy shit, a new Alien movie!" The posters were out. The teaser trailer came out earlier this week. The movie comes out August 16th. From the teaser trailer, the little facehugger thing's jumping like fleas. Like the door opens and they're using their tail to just spring over there. It's so fast. I was like, I like that. It's horrifying, but I like that where things are moving too fast that you can't even process it. Makes it terrifying.
Yeah, because everything is not slow moving. You can't just escape. Like those things are hunting you.
Right.
This takes place between the first Alien and Aliens. So there's no Ripley. She's in cryo. So it's a new cast of characters. It's directed by Fede Alvarez, who did the remake to Evil Dead.
Okay.
So he knows some horror. So that should be pretty interesting to watch.
I bet
I'm
you.
excited
I
about it.
bet
Looks
you
good.
Ripley shows up at the end of the movie or a credit scene or something.
I don't know.
Makes sense.
She
to
was
do so.
woken up from cryo in part 2, so if they link it up, then yeah, it would have to be.
Yeah, I mean, they do the age regeneration now, so they could pull it off with Sigourney Weaver. Why not?
Maybe.
A game I used to play is becoming a movie.
Yeah.
The Sims is
Shoots
becoming a
and
movie.
ladders.
Now, it's being made by Margot Robbie's production company called Lucky Chap. They'll be producing the movie, and I believe she's got a starring role in the movie. The only way I can see this making any sense, because if this is a comedy, this is a horrible premise. The only way I can see this making any sense is if the movie is like how I played the game, and this is a horror movie.
Yeah, you're a terrible person. I've seen you do this.
Terrible person, or
It's funny.
a Nostradamus, if you will. What do they call it? Not a soothsayer. What do they call it when you can see the future?
Yeah, soothsayer.
A soothsayer?
Prognosticator.
Something like that. I saw the future. Me having parties in a house and then locking people upstairs with refrigerators spun backwards so they can't move it, blocking the door, and then removing the stairs to the second floor. And there's just ghosts
Making them
walking up and down the
pee
second
themselves
floor.
constantly.
Peeing themselves, crying, not improving their ability to speak, to do any kind of basic function. So they're burning themselves, they're hurting themselves, they're drowning in the pool, they're falling off the patio decks, like 3 stories.
Yeah, you were pretty much you were doing your own version of Saw.
Yeah.
Like you were just setting up these elaborate traps for these people.
So this is
horrifying.
This needs to be a horror movie, I think.
I think that'd be cool. I don't
know what they're going to do with it, but I'm just putting my own 2 cents in there. And my conclusion is that Sims needs to be a horror movie in order for it to make any sense.
It was like how when they did Battleship and it turned out to be like some weird alien movie. Like this would be a good twist on it where it's like, oh, it's The Sims. You think it's going to be funny. They're talking a weird language and it's a horrifying trap movie.
Yeah.
Like that would be fun.
So we'll see we'll keep you up to date as we get the information. Tomorrow, a brand new trailer reveals for season 1, season 14 of Doctor Who with the brand new Doctor. I'll give it a watch. I have not been impressed much by what we've seen so far. Also, former writer and showrunner Stephen Moffat has surprisingly returned to the show as back in his writing role. Wrote an episode for one of the episodes of the Doctor's new season. So I like his stuff. I trusted his work. I loved his time, I think, the best when he was running Doctor Who. So I would be excited to see what his episode is that he wrote. I don't know. I just don't know. They just keep making the show more and more difficult to enjoy. So
yeah,
that trailer's out tomorrow. I'll let you know next week if I've said fuck it, I'm done, or if I'm still gonna try to plow through it all.
It's a weird show because what they've done is they've gone so far to try to be non-exclusionary that they've become exclusionary. It's weird that they have. We want everybody, but not you.
That younger fan base for Doctor Who are miserable people, because you get all the older fan base. And look, there's people who are older fans than me, been watching it for 14 seasons, because the show's 60 years old.
It's very old.
So there's people since the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, all have picked up on Doctor Who in some way, shape, or form. So this is generationally an event, a property that is just going to last through time, and rightfully so.
Right.
But this younger fan base that came in with Jodie Whittaker's term as the Doctor, and then the trans daughter during the specials, and now this guy who seems like a great actor. He seems fine, but the way they're making him say "sweetie, baby doll, honey," all that kind of stuff, and you're just like, why are they gaying it up?
They're trying. They're really trying.
Yeah.
So,
and I don't really have a problem with that. It's just some of the writing has been terrible, and the way they were forcing things in, it's like, look, I know the show's always been progressive. I'm not ignorant to that fact. I know there's been stuff worked in the past, and it made sense. This has not made sense coming in here. And you get a lot of the current fan base saying, this show's not for you anymore. You need to leave or don't watch it anymore. It's like, you don't get to come into the house and then hold the door open and say, you need to leave, Right. Squatters' rights. I've been here longer than you have. I'm going to sit here and continue to be miserable with this. Anyway, so new Doctor Who trailer. This surprised me.
This made me mad when I saw it the other day.
They're making a movie, Harold and the Purple Crayon. Did you read this book when you were growing up as a kid?
It was never read to me as a kid, but I read it to my 2 kids as they grew up.
Okay.
So I am familiar with the book and the premise, and that's
this
why
book was given to me. Somebody gave it to me when I was a little kid. And it's about a kid named Harold who has this purple crayon, and everything he draws comes to life.
Right.
If he drew a scenario, boom, you're now at the beach. If he drew a character, whatever, boom, that character can now talk and walk around and whatever.
Right.
Kid story about a kid doing all of this stuff.
About a 4-year-old kid.
All right. We are going to watch this trailer because I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched the trailer either. All I saw.
So we're going to review
posters.
this. The problem I have with this, right off the bat, it stars Zach Levi.
Uh-huh.
Grown
That's
man.
what makes me very upset about it.
It's not like it's an animated cartoon and he's voicing it. I'd have no problem with that.
No, that would be fine.
Zoe Deschanel's in there too. They're all adults.
Right.
Unless this trailer shows me that these kids somehow became adults and that's what we're dealing with, like Big, almost. That's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, but that loses then all you're doing is taking the crayon and the title and then doing nothing.
Right.
Whatever. Okay.
All right.
I've not watched this either, so.
Let's take a look at this and see what happens here.
Oh, good. Finally, Zoe Deschanel is in a movie where a quirky character is hanging out with her quirky character in a department store. Where have I seen that before? Oh, that's right. That's
the TV show that she did on Fox for so many years.
That was Elf.
Oh, yeah, Elf too. It's like, hey, we had this other script for Elf that we didn't do. What if we just adapted it to another property? All right, sounds good.
Look, we know you have the vest. Just bring it to the set. We'll be fine. I don't know.
Here's another issue with this. Make the kids book first. Introduce Harold as the kid. Mm-hmm. Do the animated version of this movie as the kid. Then make this like the second movie where some time has passed, Harold has grown up, and then he goes into the real world. That would have made more sense than starting here.
Yeah. That and with Zachary Levi, his version of Shazam and all those movies, they just turned me off of caring about him in any way.
Well, that movie is coming out August 2nd of this year. I loved that book growing up. So I'll give it a look, but I really think they should have started with introducing the kid, the character, the world, the whole thing here. Not that he's learning what his crayon is in real life as an adult.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
But why would Hollywood listen to us?
No, we're just two guys.
We're just two guys. We're two guys who don't want to see this shitty movie. All right, we need to get out of here. We got to do the plugs. As always, Jordan, our nation's eyes turn to you.
I am on another show called I'll Watch It Later podcast, where we review movies that we probably should have seen a long, long time ago. And when we're not reviewing movies, we're doing a snack show, which we'll be doing this weekend. I've got a lot of stuff that we're going to eat, a lot of stuff that Eric sent me. Aaron is also eating pretzels. These pretzels are making him thirsty. So if you want to come check us out on YouTube, I'll Watch It Later podcast. You can check Instagram at Watch Later Pod. And if you want to come say hi to me, I'm at Jinxed Ronan.
All right. For me and this program, follow us across the board on all the social media platforms at It's Eric Nagel. If you're listening to us on the iHeartRadio app, thank you very much for doing so. If you're listening to us on demand somewhere else, space, time, location, whatever, Apple, Spotify, namely those two places, do us a kindness, go over there and leave us a positive review. It does help out the program. It helps us boost through the algorithms and whatnot. Also, the video version of the show is available on our YouTube channel. youtube.com/It's Eric Nagel. Go over there and do all this fun stuff. All of this is free and easy for you to do. It just takes mere moments. I know some of you are lazy bags of shit, but get off your ass and go over there and click the like, subscribe, and a notification, all that stuff. We've given you so much and we've asked you for so little. Go and do this for us. Go and subscribe. I'm being so mean for no reason. Go over and subscribe to all of that stuff. Check out the videos and maybe share it with what do we tell? I'm so lost in my own rage here. Tell two friends. Yes. Hold on.
I told 2 friends, but that is not enough.
No, it is. 2 friends tell 2 other friends tell 2 other friends. It's like the coronavirus.
It is like the coronavirus. Go spread it like that and tell 2 friends and help out the program. So we are done. We do need to get out of here. I think we covered everything.
Yes, we did. And more.
Yes, we did. There it is. That's what I was looking for. Okay, until the next time, everybody.
Be excellent to each other.
And we'll be... Ow, I hit my hand on the mic. We'll be seeing you trying to do the stupid eye thing. Goodbye.
It's Eric Nagel.
If you let them have me, I'm as good as dead. You know that.
I know.
Goodbye, old friend.
Goodbye, Eric.
Alas, we're out of time.
Follow It's Eric Nagel on social media platforms. For ways to watch and listen to the show, or join us for the live shows, head over to itsericnagel.com. Yo, and remember to tell 2 friends, so they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends. You get the idea.
Keep it real, homies.